will be the point where in YouTube I will edit this whole opening scene. Welcome D&D TikTok! To the weekly game of the Natural Ones. We'd like to welcome you all back to our table, as it were, here at live from the Hive in Macomb, Mississippi. A quick round of introductions, I believe, is in order. Unfortunately, our dear elven cleric, Elrond, will not be here with us tonight. As today is Mother's Day, he's got something happening today. But we are here to entertain you on this beautiful day dedicated to all the birth givers out there. Those who are natural spawn points, as it were. That was that's a very bad joke. Okay. So, with that horrendous...
He's not lying, though. He's not...
Inspiration next time you're a player at my table.
Thank you. With that horrendous opening, we will begin now on this end with our introduction, starting with our dear halfling wizard, Mr. Finnegan.
I am Ricky, and I'm playing, evidently, Finnegan, the halfling wizard.
I am. Oh, there it is. I am Rakara, the Emerald Dragonborn, Divine Soul Sorcerer, Samurai Fighter, or the wannabe Paladin.
At least you've accepted it.
That never occurred to me.
I'm Jeff. I'm going to be playing Grimm, or Grimwald Grizzlebraid at your service. I am the half-orc barbarian.
I'm Michael. I'm playing Montel, Chaotic Stupid, and a Bard Rogue.
I'm Beck, and I'm playing Finrail Nefarin, the Drake Warden Ranger.
And I am Kenneth Moffat, aka Southern D&D on TikTok and on other various platforms. And I am the Dungeon Master and the creator of this world they're playing in called Faeterra. Now, when last we left, oh, how the proverbial excrement had hit the rotating motorized blades. When last we left, you had journeyed finally into the Alden Forest, making your way to the Tree of Tales. While there, discovering a treacherous conspiracy surrounding Queen Raelith Alarith, the current sitting queen of the High Elves in Illmeraiya. Chasing after her, you were led via Elrond into an open clearing. There, coming across the dead, or rather murdered body of a dryad. Before you had a chance to figure out what was happening after summoning the treant ally you had made recently named Aldebar. A strange, blighted treant moving out to attack you. As combat began, you were joined in combat by a member of the Green Wardens, a sort of ranger-esque patrol group, less military, more protectors of Ilthalas. This half-elven Drake Warden assisting you with their draconic companion. You managed to defeat the blighted treant. Then, under the direction of Finriel, you were led deeper into the Alden Forest to what is known as the Coven's Belt, a small cluster of 3 mountains, in which you found the carriage that you had been tracking for days now at the opening to an old mine. You traveled down into the mine, finding one of the Void Slicers, this weird amalgam of scorpion and serpent-like creature, to which Montel, performing an amazing bit of entertainment feat, acting as a snake charmer, lulling this thing into a sense of complacency before our dear friend Finnegan, doing what he does best, and as a one-man demolition crew, dropping a column weighing several tons on top of this monster, killing it instantly. But unfortunately, blocking off the most direct route deeper in forcing you all to then move across this old rickety wooden bridge. A bridge that almost claimed the life of two of our companions.
It was not my fault.
But thankfully, Grimm and Finnegan managed to help each other across the way. Across the other side of this deep, almost endless chasm, you found the unconscious, what you thought was the first dead form of Queen Rayleigh. Your attempt to heal her, the magic was diverted somewhere else. Only upon flipping her over did you see a strange red-hewn dagger in her chest. Upon the genius of Montel removing it, the magic sword then released in a single explosive moment, summoning this colossal void stone elemental. A creature made out of the rock and earth of the surrounding mine, but also brimming with the deep pulsing green void stone you had come to recognize now. In a pitched battle in which Elrond was taken to death's door, before, almost poetically, the dwarven fighter, Crowlin, stepped up and proved just why dwarves rule the underground, giving his very life to put down this massive titan of a monster, one that would surely have destroyed many of his friends. In the process of mourning and preparing the final resting place of Crowlin Shortsight, the Queen, realizing that this entity, that this arcanist that she and now you know to be her brother, Artorius Zytherin, have made a deal with, has turned on them, fearing that she is dead. She's literally a dead person walking. As her final act, attempted to throw herself off into the chasm, ending, trying to end her life. Thankfully, Montel was there, leaping in after her, as Rakara scrambled to throw rope after both of them. Elrond, with his last few moments of flight, diving in, managing to grab the Queen, but unable to grab Montel as he just kind of falls back, being absorbed into the darkness, thinking, that this massive, almost bottomless chasm, Montel is dead, only for a glistening mist to arise up from the depths, and then just poof, Montel, through mist form, had returned to the party. To quote his exact words, he is a cockroach. You were able to glean a little bit of information from the Queen, but it was Elrond who, in a moment of divination, reached out across the world, finally putting a face to this name, Zytherin, Artorius Zytherin, realizing that the coterie, this underground mercenary assassins guild that has been hounding you, is not the main culprit. They're simply the muscle for Zytherin and this entity you now know to be Ebron. You now know to be the piece of Isorin, the Titan of Oblivion, the Void Titan that is dead beneath the Platinum Star. A small conversation between Elrond and this version of Ebron, in which he told you to come to Nilheim, and that all the answers you seek are there. Journeying back now, as you journey back across, we'll roll back to give a little bit of time for role-playing questions. Arriving at Illmeraiya, heading to the capital, heading to the palace to speak to the king, you were stopped by Lady Sonali, the head of house, the house warden for Lord Nurinel. Rakara presented with a piece of tattered paper, written in a shaky hand, looked to be water teardrop staining it. Is a very simple sentence that all it read was, "Kieran's body is missing." And with that, we now come back into the game, excuse me, with Rakara staring at this paper, which I assume is now in a kind of trembling, clawed hand.
Do I recognize the handwriting?
Oh yes, Haggerty.
How close were we to the castle?
You got not far past Lord Nurnell's estate. You were within sight of the castle, of the palace.
I will slip the note into a pocket and keep that to myself,
Okay.
if nobody else notices.
Well, she handed you an enclosed envelope, so
Okay.
she did read it. So yeah. Are you trying to hide that you're pocketing the note, or are you? What are you doing?
I'm not gonna try. I'm just gonna slip
Okay.
it in.
You see Rakara. He just seems to appear to read it. And just
And
kind of,
he'll seem a bit agitated, but we have other business to attend to.
Insight check.
all right, roll me an insight check. I want you to roll me, Rakara. This would probably be. Roll me, because you're already trying to deceive anybody. Roll me just a straight charisma check. You're trying to. Actually, interesting. How would you be trying to? Wisdom check. Trying to maintain a mental fortitude.
Okay.
Roll me a wisdom check. So set the DC for us.
That could be wisdom check.
Yes.
No, 11.
Finnegan, something appears to be like there is something bothering him. There isn't. You've seen obvious emotional twinge that he's trying to repress to whatever he's reading.
More daddy issue shit. Keep on trucking.
All right. As you still riding the dragonelles, in your case, your dragon or your drake, up to the palace gates, instantly recognize as the gates swing open for all of you. You are now back at the Arbor Palace in the capital city of Illmeraiya.
So I know for a fact that on the trip down we had the Queen's head back.
It was covered, yes.
Yeah. I think Montel would suggest we just keep it like that until we are with the King specifically.
Nobody, I mean, when you found her, she wasn't wearing any sort of regal clothing. It was more of just like a simple, like a leather pants and tunic set. Something that'd be more comfortable and less cumbersome down in the mind. So with that, there is no reason, people wouldn't necessarily go, oh, she has a such and such size boot, that's the queen. They just think you basically have a female elf in custody.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we had said word last game that we were.
Yes, you had sent word ahead that,
We had
hence
a
why the
special package.
gates were open. And Lord Norinel actually is, as you kind of dismounting your dragonelles, the doors are opening. Lord Norinel is walking down the steps.
That's our sponsor, right?
Yes, he's the one. He goes, I received a message that you had just kind of glances at the bagged face. You received a message you had some important information for us?
I'll send a telepathic message to him. It's her. We found her. Does he get it?
No, he got it. It's just on a natural one. He just kind of stopped.
Was he in the room when we started discussing with
He
the
left.
king? Or did he leave?
He left to go
Okay.
check on his dog.
So he wouldn't even know that we went after her unless the king himself
Told him.
told him.
But they're buddies, so.
That's a fair thought. This is still something that the king. I'm gonna roll that back. Then he still has me play close to this shit. I forgot that Norinel had walked out to check on his daughter.
Because he asked, we mentioned something about the queen, and he said, do you think that she's involved? And we said, it's better that you know nothing from this point
And on some natural one inside, he has no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Oh, well, okay, very well. If you'll bring this individual inside, then please.
Are we taking her to the dungeon first?
No.
Or are we...
This is all telepathic, I hope.
Yeah, because you said you'd bound her hands and shackled her feet. So,
Yeah, like her hands are bound underneath the cloak. Her feet are probably not shackled.
Okay, gotcha.
Just so she can ride.
I'm going to say that over the days, you get a sense that she is a defeated individual. She is giving you no resistance of any kind. She has been silent this entire ride, barely eating when offered food and water. She She is an individual who her spirit is broken.
I assume we're taking her to the king to.
Lord Norrell is, you get a sense where he's leading you is up into the private quarters of the palace.
Something like that.
Because
Yes.
normally you would walk straight into the regalia where the throne room is. He's leading you off to a set of stairs leading up where several guards are positioned. You're leading into what you know to this. You think this would be the residential area of the palace.
Okay.
What's wrong?
I'm thinking that we need to take her to the dungeon first.
Let's keep her.
Well, for one, we are taking a prisoner into the residential quarters of the king.
Mm-hmm.
So that already looks weird. Two, I think we want to ease into it and be like, we have her, she's in the dungeon,
No,
you can do what you want.
This is easing into it
Okay.
because we know what she's done. They don't know what she's done.
We
A
got your
bunch of
wife in
outsiders
shackles with
show
no
up and,
explanation.
Yeah,
and
that's-
throw the queen into the dungeon,
And-
and that's
and-
not going to be looking good.
Also, if I remember correctly, before we left, he asked us to bring her back to him.
Yes. Well,
I feel like that's kind of objective,
regardless, I think we
but
should bring.
I will defer to you guys. That's just my opinion.
I understand what you're saying.
Forgive me, folks. I just realized I don't have my phone plugged in.
Oh. Well,
Which one? Oh, that's the counter.
yep.
Sorry, folks. Let me just kind of get this plugged in real quick.
You're getting a close up of the prettiest face in here.
Ain't it the truth?
They get lots of close-ups of that face. I haven't seen a single person screenshot of the set.
That's because they don't need
There
to.
have been no one has posted a screenshot of Discord that the set.
Just
You
on my
told me I'm
nose.
asleep, so I can.
Is that a Fetish ring or something?
All right.
Yeah. Infinity ring?
That is a question. Is this something that y'all would
Yes,
bring
it is.
Finnegan for, or would Finn have separated off?
That's a.
That's up to you.
Because that's-
Unless you stop and move away, my tail's not stopping anyone who has helped us so far.
Yeah.
He's
So-
definitely
and
one.
so
Like
you
he's
help me on the
curious,
bridge.
but if you, as a group, don't trust him for
Hey,
something this big,
You
First
caught
off,
me
I don't
on
trust
the
anyone
bridge.
else here.
You caught me on the bridge. I trust you with me life.
First
I
off,
also trust you with his life.
I don't trust
Part of the
anyone
reason.
here. So you're online
As
with
many
everyone
times
else.
as I brought you
Alright.
back from death.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't trust me?
he's proven that if need be, Finn can climb him like a tree.
Oh, he couldn't even climb a tree.
All right. So, what's the verdict?
Let's take her to
Unless someone else stops her.
the residential. Well,
The
her or-
verdict or
With,
what?
Yeah.
with Finn.
Him or yeah,
Yeah,
Finn's fine.
if Finn
Finn's
comes
totally
along,
fine.
then-
Two Finns don't make a right.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
We'll throw the smaller one out.
Finn is going with it.
All right. And where are you heading? Are you turning off to the dungeons, or are you following Lord Nurno?
We're following
I
Lord
guess so.
Nurno.
Okay. Following Lord Nurno.
This is their house, so we won't act like we know what.
Okay. Lord Nurno leads you up the stairs, past several doors, down the hall, to a doorway that he just goes, one moment, please. As he kind of knocks on the door, you hear, yes, your Majesty, the natural ones have returned. Oh, you just show them in, please. The door opens as he motions for. I believe I will stand out here to make sure you're not disturbed.
Appreciate that. Yes.
So you're all rushed in, you're all ushered in to a beautiful combination of a library and looks like a study. This is his personal study. Books everywhere, large, massive stained glass windows facing the eastern sky. There is a full bar in here, and it is currently where he is sitting, looking at a very beautiful tapestry on the wall that is a painting of him and his wife.
If they're like plush seats around, something like that.
Yes, there are wingback leather chairs, there are couches.
I would just say that so we can guide
Okay.
the defeated wife to,
You-
and then pull the hood off.
You move her over to one of the. All right. As he kind of looks back at you, well, he would recognize her.
Happy birthday.
He's.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, Finnegan.
Oh,
Finnegan.
ow.
Finnegan. Ow.
Remember that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, well.
As he sitting there looks for a moment at her and goes, I suppose there is a valid reason why you have my wife in handcuffs in a bag.
We took the bag off.
Okay.
She's still cuffed.
She's still.
Yeah.
This is not usually how an innocent person, and you get a sense it's less more of like shock and anger, more of he is resigning himself, understanding what is happening.
We tracked her down to a voidstone mine, and she was stabbed in the back by her own doing. And she confessed to us in an attempt to.
By her own brother, no less.
Yes.
No, I will let you know that the individual who was with her was not, her brother is Artoris Faeterra.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one who Elrond saw still at this place called Nilheim.
Okay.
The other person that was there was a vessel for this entity known
Everett.
as Everett.
Okay.
Yes.
And she confessed to us what she had done and attempted to end her life there in the mine. One of our own. Where is he? Would he be? Are we playing like he's here or not?
Elrond, actually, as you were riding through, he is going to go gather some more information on Zythera, and he said he's going to meet a few contacts that he has here within the city to try to garner some more information on this Nilheim and to send a message. So he's for the moment he's not here.
Elrond dove in after her, and well, two of them dove in after her, and he saved her life. We thought it'd be better to bring her back here than leave her at the bottom of the
So he just kind of
shaft.
looks at her and goes, "It would have been easier to let her fall."
We don't do things the easy way, it seems.
He just kind of shakes his head and looks at her and goes, Raelith?
Stop me from saving Carmack.
Raelith? Why? Why did you do it? She doesn't even look up at him, just, for my family, Your Majesty. It was, don't look at me, woman. You threatened my kingdom, my people. You tried to murder people I respect and their children. Why? But she's kind of, because I was foolish, sire. He just stares at her.
I'm gonna go grab a drink.
I pull out my bottle of coffee liquor.
One.
Everyone roll perception.
Turns out Finnegan's a great bartender.
And that I'm distracted by the drink.
I got I got a 17.
I'm just gonna quit rolling perception checks from now on.
Did anybody whoever beat a 15?
Woohoo!
You see the king's hand move underneath the cloak he's wearing, the robe behind him, and you. Did anybody beat an 18?
No.
You just see his hand move behind his back in the robe. He stands up, picks up this glass with a little bit of amber liquid left as he takes a sip of it. He turns back to her, the amber in his eyes flaring. He just moves toward her. You see him reach out a hand, lift her head up. For stupidity, you would cost me my kingdom. And instantly a blade is to her throat. She's just staring at him, unmoving, pressed so tight that a bit of dark red blood. You better be thankful. I loved you too much to do this. She kind of turns away from her, goes and sits back down. Did she give you any other information? She looks up at the rest of you just kind of standing there like awkwardly holding bottles and cups.
Her brother is working up in Nilheim.
With the coterie.
With the coterie, using the coterie to unleash the void. They have a piece of a Sator's heart.
Dryad.
Dryad's heart.
They have a heart of a dryad.
A piece of it.
Is that important to you?
There is an uneasy. They're not uneasy. There is a treaty of truce between the Elven people and the Parliament of Trees. Technically, they were here first on Ilthalas, before the Sundering, before the Cataclysm, and we arrived later. And as we pushed deeper into their territories, there were some blowbacks, some altercations. Then King Alden and the first Dryad sat down together and made a truce. Part of my oath is to maintain this truce. If a member of the Parliament of Trees has been killed, it is very much my business. Noranel, the door. Yes, sir? I am expecting that soon we'll be getting a visitor from the Parliament of Trees. See that they're brought immediately to me. Yes, sire. Looks for confused as he shuts the door.
We had an encounter in the forest when we met one of the, I forget.
Finreal.
So at this moment,
Finreal.
like at this moment, you see him realizes that it's Finreal, and he goes, "Forgive me, Master Crowlin. Where is he at? Is he not with you?" Or?
He's underneath the grate.
He gave his life to put down a void elemental.
So he kind of turns back and looks at her. Who this entire time, she has not moved, even though there's still a small drip of blood from her neck onto the floor. He stares at her. The love of a husband is a dangerous thing. You watch as he reaches and grabs a bottle and pours some more into the glass and shoots the entire thing at once.
I'm gonna take a vial and go capture some of the blood from her.
Let's not be weird.
Roll me a stealth check.
I'm not trying to hide it.
As you see him. Is there a reason you're doing that, Master Finnegan?
Could be important for something later. It might not be.
22. He's like, may she be of some use to someone. He's kind of turned. He's on that roll. He's given up on her. The effect, what she has done, what she attempted to do.
Blood is a spell component for things.
And then the fact that she is showing no remorse to it. She's not trying to. She's given up.
So, awkward question. So,
It's not
what are you
you.
going to do with her now?
My heart hurts too much to have her executed. She will live out her days in the dungeons, living in what modicum of comfort there is to be had there. I guess when I die, I'll pass away, and my line will end. So, with that knowledge, things must be prepared for a new sovereign. He seems to kind of look over at her. I had hoped that one day we may have in fact known the joy of parenthood. Guards! Doors open immediately, and two of the palace guards step in, looking at the queen, a little confused for a moment, but then in the king's next order. Would you kindly take her down to the dungeons, please? Yes, Your Majesty. They walk over to her, kind of pick her up, see if she's cut. One of them goes, see to her wound down there, please. Yes, sire. They just kind of look very confused as they lead her out. It's just sitting there. What would you like to do?
I will walk down with the guards.
Okay, so you're going to follow them down?
Just a side thing. When we left out, we were, I'll say this out loud, kind of thinking and thought, the Green Warden captain that went with us, would he have any way of contacting her or know any way of contacting her?
He would, yeah,
Make
he would have a way of contact her if you want to. You also know that you got a sense that at the Green Warden Lodge where you first picked her up from, that they would also have a way of getting in touch with her.
Okay. We kind of left her to her own devices and that's a fun face.
So, now what?
I'll talk still out loud.
Yeah.
Is Ambassador Grimm still in town?
He looks up. I believe the ambassador from Krelot, the vessel is still here. Yes, there was some final negotiations. I got the sense though that he was more waiting for someone to return before he left.
Probably those things dragging else.
He looks up finally at all of you and goes, did she show any hint of remorse for what she did?
Other than
Yes.
trying to plummet to the bottom of a mine shaft?
I believe so.
To me, that's
Yes.
pretty extreme, but that seemed remorseful.
It's also the chance she thought that she had nothing else to live for and was trying to take a quick way out.
It was.
Give her a chance.
I think it was both, sir.
Roll me a charisma check, Grimm.
Why am I the one?
You said the line.
Wow.
That was weird. I'm gonna burn an inspiration.
I've
All
never
right.
seen you do that before.
I have never seen it do that before either. It spun like a top. That was-
You are setting my DC.
Yeah. Do it again.
Natural 20.
Not 20.
He rolled a dirty 20, so you.
Ooh.
That means he would have had. What is your total charisma check?
The total charisma check was 21.
21. He rolled a dirty 20 total, but still on a critical success, he would have had to exceed it by at least 5. So he is kind of. Master Grimm, I appreciate what you're trying to do, sir. I do. Maybe after some time I can go down and speak to her, but right now, the fact that she was behind the attempt to kill the young daughter of a man I consider a brother, not just that, the attack on several members of my council and the attempt to, it's too fresh for the moment. Had you not made that, he was about to get very angry with you.
Yep. I had a feeling that would be the case.
Grimm will get a subtle back pat.
But you did a good thing. You did a good thing there.
Good sir, before we
I always
head
love
out,
saving people
I know
from
this is not
themselves or others.
perhaps not the news you wanted.
Could you speak
But,
before me?
if there's any way that you could help us procure transport back to Port Blayven and the land there, we have business over there.
I do suppose it's the least I could do for you as the sitting monarch.
Thank you.
If you will give me some time, I need to think on a few things. I will let you know.
That's understood. Thank you.
So while we pause this conversation, Mr. Finnegan, you followed the guards the entire time. While they give very odd looks to each other, no comment about who they are leading down. As they pass other guards, you see eyes, kind of like, literally, if their eyes were metal, you could hear the click as the eyes would move from one side to the other.
I'll glare at everybody who looks.
Roll me a perception check.
Can I just autofill this?
You can if you roll one.
I'm gonna have to, I can roll a lot more than a 1 to autofill this. Perception. Hey, 15.
Look at you.
As they lead you down the stairs into the foyer where you first walked in, you, as a halfling, large staircases are not built for your stature, a little bit cumbersome to traverse. And as you kind of step on the bottom, you take a moment to kind of, you suddenly smell fresh honey, the smell of an autumn breeze. As the doors open, you see stepping in, following alongside Lord Nuranel, a female figure standing 7-8 feet tall. Her skin the color of red oak bark. Her hair the color of the vibrant red of an autumn leaf fall. The clothing she's wearing, such as it is, looks less like she is wearing it and more as it has grown out of her. Like you see, but it's not like painful or ugly. It's almost like the lines meet together. What did you roll total?
15.
15? I'm not going to make you roll again. You have heard of this race, of this type of entity. You are standing in the presence of a dryad. And from the individual, the guardian treant behind her that you recognize, and you see him kind of,
Aldebar!
you say his name?
Yeah.
The dryad stops and looks. She just smiles and goes, "You must be Finnegan." The voice is very, very melodic, you can't help but smile when you hear it. As she kind of walks over to you, the fiery red hair, deep green emerald eyes, she just gives a slight bow. "I am Lady Daedra.
Oh, I've heard legend of you.
I believe you were present."
I have her name down here, so somebody said something about her. So
You remember that Daedra is the member of the Department of Trees that Aldebar, that is his ward.
Okay.
And she is also would be a sister to Lady Rianne, the dryad whose heart was ripped out.
Okay.
Who has the half of the heart currently? You two. Okay. As you watch as Daedra just smiles and goes, "My old friend Aldebar told me you were there for my sister's demise, and you put at ease her guardian."
Got there just a moment too late, sadly.
Unfortunately, even we who speak for it cannot stop the will of the green. Thank you for making sure her guardian knew peace. Watch as Lord Nuranel step on. Like Lord Nuranel's he's an elf, so he's probably over 6 feet tall. But he's like looking up to her, like she is Amazonian in stature. So Lady Daedra, if you would please, His Majesty is up the stairs. She goes, "Thank you, Lord Nuranel. looks back to you. If there is ever anything that I personally can do for you, consider yourself my friend, Lord Finnegan. With that, she just kind of gives a smile and a nod and begins moving up the stairs with this grace that's almost like the stairs themselves are just lifting her up to the top of them. Like even the guards were sitting there going. Right. You kind of look and realize that the guards with the queen have kind of you run off after them. They lead her down a spiral stone staircase into a metal door where one walks up and knocks on it. You see another guard opens, nods. Look a little bit confused for a moment. The door opens, they step in. Do you speak Elvish?
I believe I do.
Yeah, I do.
Then you would understand the quick passing of the king wished for her to be imprisoned here. The queen, I don't know, man. Look, just follow orders. He said he'll be done later. Very well. Looks at her and goes, Your Majesty. And then she goes, I am not your queen. Yes.
She's right.
Yes. You respond in Elvish as well?
Yep.
Oh, I recognize you. You're of the band of the natural ones. Did His Majesty send you down here as well?
Yes.
Roll me a deception check.
Well, they wouldn't know. They weren't there.
Can you beat a 3?
I mean, there's a chance.
I'm sorry. They get a +3. Can you beat a 5?
There's less of a chance.
14.
Yeah. Yes. Very well. They will lead you with her to the dungeons are about the dungeons are three stories. You do see on the very bottom there are several large metal doors. You just see them more the solitary type areas. They just take her to a very simple holding cell, very clean cot, bucket of water. There's actually a window facing outside, and she just goes and sits on the cot, and then just kind of one of them kind of goes to give a bow and stops, shakes his head, moves, shuts the door, locking it, puts the key on his side, and just kind of walks past you.
Sure.
All right. So anything else for you while you're down here?
You can go on.
All right. So we now cut back as the 4 of you are finishing up. There is a knock at the door.
You're still in the king's.
Yes.
second.
The door opens, and now this is where you see the dryad. She's kind of steps down. The frame only about 8 feet tall. She kind of stepped down and just steps into this room. And the moment she steps in, it's almost like the air in here just seems to lighten, both metaphorically and physically. You see a bit of like a glow coming off of her. The air not so heavy. You obviously will recognize this as dealing with the Alden Forest. You know her. You've seen most normal dryads only stand about 5 to 6 feet tall. The fact that she is of this greater stature means she is of some greater importance. As the king looks up and goes, Lady Daedra, you honor me with your presence. As she just raises her hand, Your Majesty, I am here on behalf of the Parliament of Trees. I thought you would be coming. I did not know they would send the most elegant of their number, though. She just kind of smiles and goes, Today is a day of pain for many families. Let us speak as old friends in their remembrance then. You see Lord Nornell, who's at the door, just kind of beckoning to all of you to step. Grimm's kind of holding his glass, walks up.
So hold the glass.
Before Monta leaves, he gives her a bow.
She just smiles and kind of gives a slight nod to you.
Was there a particular vow or salute or anything that a Green Warden would?
You don't know many Green Wardens who have interacted fully with like an actually quote unquote sitting member of the Parliament, but you were told to give them the reverence you would give to any current sitting monarch if you ever came across one.
He gives his best bow.
Okay.
And will.
So I can imagine like beside you see Seb just kind of lower himself down, slowly raise himself back up. Right. Anything else before you walk out of the door? All right, so as you all step out, and Nernell shuts the door, I figured it would be best for the two of them to talk in private.
Mhm.
I believe I saw Master Finnegan heading down to the dungeons following the
He's inquisitive. He'll probably be back
the
up.
prisoner. Well, if you would like, I could lead you down there if you wish to speak to the Queen some more.
No, we're done with.
Very well. I did receive word from the Croatan ambassador that the moment your group returned, he would like to speak with you. The Dragon's Reach, yes.
At the Dragon's Reach?
At his ship, yes.
He wants his skating horses back.
Okay.
All right. Also, Green Warden, there is a lodge on the way to the docks. If you'd like to stop there and check in with your order.
Certainly, thank you.
I'd like to stop there too and make sure that the Green Warden captain will be.
Very well. So, as he goes, very well, that's no problem at all. Anything else for you guys, or do you wish to exit the palace?
I think I'm good.
As you all start to walk down the steps, you watch as the guards stand there for a moment, like cut their eyes real quick, look a little bit disappointed, and go back to standing. Like they were expecting someone else to be walking down the stairs.
Or more hope.
All right. So now we cut back to Finnegan. Just kind of sitting there at the bars, staring in at Rayla. She's just sitting there.
Lady Rayla, you've been through a lot.
More than you and your friends know, sir. And I am no lady anymore.
But you could be again.
It is only the love that His Majesty felt toward me that has kept my head on my shoulders. See her reach up and kind of touch at the now kind of dried blood. I wouldn't have blamed him if he had pushed the knife deeper.
None of us would have.
He just kind of looks up at you. Is this some mission of mercy, sir? You wish to see if I have perhaps regret for what I have done?
No. I know you have regret for how things worked out for you, but that's not why I'm here.
Then why are you here, sir?
You yourself feel a deep sense of betrayal, very similar to what His Majesty feels.
His Majesty was betrayed by one he believed loved him. I was betrayed by one who took me and my brother out of the slums and the shit of a city that hated us. One who my brother wishes to be just like. I am not betrayed, I am angry, sir. I know my brother would never betray me. I'm afraid that he is next to feel the blade of that damned wraith in his back.
Then help us prevent it.
Some last act of repentance, I suppose.
I can't absolve you. The only person that can absolve you of whatever guilt you may feel is you. It may happen tomorrow. It may happen 100 years from now. It may never happen. But the fact of the matter is, they want oblivion to return. And our best chance of stopping that is you.
You think this has to do with a dead Titan?
I think it has to do with a lot. I think it has to do with a lot that I know and a lot that I don't know. And the more that I know, the more we can stop.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh God, I suck at these.
With advantage.
So bad.
She rolled low enough, there's a shot here.
So it's 16 on the first roll.
Okay.
And that's a dirty 20 on the second roll.
Okay. DC was 20.
Oh!
It was a hard DC. Okay.
Yes! Bringing me ours tonight.
She just kind of looks up at you and goes,
Finnegan
running for her.
He pulls out a literal fucking notebook.
notepad and paper. She just looks at you and goes, ask me your questions, I'll answer them as the best I can.
It's like you recited, you rehearsed it or something.
Nope, I did not.
The first thing you should know is Visoran is dead. The Titan lays dead and bound beneath the Platinum Star. There may be some way to bring him back, but that's not what my brother and the Arcanists seek. I don't know exactly what they are doing. My brother was bound by certain magical effects that stopped him telling me everything. What they are seeking, though, is Adrax, the Deva, the angel that sided with Visoran and was gifted powers by the Black Titan. There is something either within his tomb or within himself that my brother and the Arcanist are seeking. The last time I spoke to him, he had mentioned an item found in a vault in Scarabray where papers and documents were located that may hold the answers to the location. This is in fact the Cragfall Ruin in Scarabray.
Right.
Yes.
I thought that I had a note written somewhere of what that was. Oh my God.
They just found the urn with his name on it. They broke it and disappeared. Or Arcanist did.
Oh, I remember.
You remember taking a where you can lightly brush over a page that has that writing on it?
Charcoal scratching.
Yeah, something like that, right? Isn't that what you had done?
No, I feel like
I know you had made enough of a roll that you realized what this vault was containing.
Okay.
It was containing basically the magics. It was old and ancient magics that this order had thought too great to just be let out, and one of them was a spell of binding. One of the other broken artifacts had a similar spell in it, and you kind of put two together and thought that maybe within that clay container was the spell or the key that held Adrax. Yes, unfortunately, we can't go back and watch the footage of that because that was way before we started streaming.
Yeah.
We started streaming because I knew. Yeah. Okay.
So Ray can't replay that.
Okay.
They are looking for something. My brother is currently, thanks to the Arcanist, they believe my brother to be the lost heir of the Grand Master of the Coterie. And it is is through that manipulation he is using those fools as his own personal mercenary service. They're looking for a ring, apparently. A ring that the ancient archmage Clothis had in his possession at one time. Within it, apparently, is a piece of untainted, pure remaining energy of Vysoren.
What was the Archmage's name?
Clothis, Klophis, which you instantly know the Clothic Infernum. He is the archmage that wrote that damned of a book.
That's not your library, too.
That's it. That was where they came.
Again, another episode that was
Not-
not on stream.
And the
Okay.
vending machines there.
Yep, in the
Right.
in the maximum souffle.
Did you maximum shoot?
Okay. Take me back. Who is the Arcanist?
I wish I knew. That way I would know where to put the blade. My earliest memory was cowering in the filth and mud of Nirakesh. We were approached, my brother and I. I was 6 and my brother was 8. Our parents had long since cast us out. We don't even remember who they were, what they looked like. This person approached us with honeyed words and honeyed sweets, bought us food and lodging for the evening, told us how that we have caught the attention of someone who would like to help. We were taken out of the mud and the muck and raised to one of the wealthiest statures. We were given destinies that were not our own. I was taken here to Ilthalas, to the Tree of Tells, where the emissary of the Arcanist, who was our watcher, our caretaker, introduced me to the then sitting Arborator.
What was his name?
I don't remember his name, although I knew he was the brother to he was a former member of one of the noble houses here in Illmeraiya. I actually he was of House Ilion. This emissary, whoever he was, went into a meeting with the Arborator. And when he came out, I was told that me and my brother would be separated for a time. I would be sent south to live the life of luxury as a lady of the court, to be raised by his sister. My brother would be taken across the sea. And from there, they split us. We were allowed to keep in contact with each other by the Arcanist. When I came of age, I was presented as a member of House Ilion to the court and positioned in certain societies and certain circles that I would catch the eye of a young king, Thalen Alarath. Obviously, our wedding was preordained by the Arcanist.
Real quick. The Lady of House Ilion,
Yes.
wasn't she the king's sister?
No. because the king is of House Alroth. Ilion is the female house noble. She is the one that you were told took the queen in as a ward, dropped off at the Tree of Tales as an orphan. Her brother sent her down here to be raised in the life of luxury. That's where you were told, she had the original name of Faeterra.
Okay. Was she? Finnegan would recall because Ricky does
Yeah.
not because he's dumb. Was she one of the ones that voted against?
No, she was in favor of Nordic. You get a sense that she is an ally of Lord Nordic.
Okay.
The ones who voted against, or rather, she voted against his backing down.
Right.
The ones who voted in favor were Laethel, Ygir, and Masara.
Okay.
But then, yeah, it was.
So far, it just sounds like that was political posturing and whatnot.
Yes.
So
Well, as she continues that, not long after she became the true queen, she received an emissary of her own with plans why she was given this grand position. She was made aware that there were two children who had the blessing of the world tree. The son of Lord Laethel, and then Leia, Lord Nurenel's daughter. She was supposed to dispose of both of them. Leia and her mother Juliana were currently on a safari, a journey through Wildweir. It was simple enough to set up an ambush to capture both of them. From here, you know that story where Juliana gave her life to help her daughter escape into the sky ship and made her way back. Lord Laethel's oldest son was away learning in Marat, in one of the cities of Marat. Came back recently, and there was where she brought in the Void Slicers and had the Void Stalker take the place of the housemaid. And she tells you that the plan for him was to have him, they were going to take him up also to the mine. Something would have been done with him at the mine. But you interfered with that, and so she had to leave quicker than expected. Meeting the vassal of Ebron on the road, the two of them journeying upward into the Tree of Tales and later to the Coven's Belt. All I know about my brother's scheme is that he believes himself to be the master of Ebron, this wraith of some kind that the Arcanist has put in his charge. But I know my brother. My brother would never have allowed what happened to me to happen. So, if the Arcanist lied about Ebron being in his control, I am led to believe the Arcanist has lied about a lot of things. It's a natural 20. I can give you one more thing, Master Finnegan.
Okay.
Had everything gone to plan, and I'm sure by now Elrond has returned back and told them that things had not gone the way they wanted. I was supposed to send word to Port Blayven. I was given a name. I was to write that person and let them know that everything had gone to plan and they would carry the message on to Nilheim. I don't know where that place is. The name, as Moffat has to go way back in his notes here. Is hack no.
I know it!
Play the long card. No, all right.
It's Steve.
Well, you almost. Never mind. Never mind.
It's Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve.
He's the only one here that would get that. It was in the play that we went to see.
How was the play?
It was
Excellent.
It was awesome. It was really good.
Anybody go to Seth's party?
It hasn't started yet.
Yeah,
I think
his-
they're doing rehearsals.
They're doing rehearsals now, like dress rehearsals.
A
tech
month is a
rehearsals.
long time to.
Yeah, most
I
like
think.
it's only most actually run for like a couple of
It's
weeks.
very
Yeah.
Steph has to call.
I'm sure, but I'm saying, like, for them to perform for a month straight in such a small market like that, I believe it would be a lot.
Little nothing.
I'm having to go back to the Rimbor fight is where the
Info
information is.
dump.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, that's how you make the perfect cup of coffee.
Best coffee ever had.
Technically, I don't think I know anything about Port Blayven, right?
You've been there. You were there for a while.
for a little bit.
That was their home.
Well, I
town.
mean, as
Like-
far as, well, yeah,
You were there for the funeral and stuff like that.
Well, he
but
was. He
anything
wasn't
beyond
here.
that,
His
maybe?
character was here.
Well,
Yeah.
your character was there, but not you.
but
And he was there for
the only significant thing I was actually there for was Counselor Rimbor.
Yes.
And it was at that point that we were like, okay, we gotta start streaming next week, cause this shit's just bonkers.
Yeah. Yes.
True.
Still always remember I can see why you enjoy this. Gotcha. Okay.
She's over there too. Sparkly green.
All right.
So,
Yeah, I've got the name here. Forgive me. Right.
Cthulhu coffee. That's what it is. That's what's called. Cthulhu's alcohol.
The name that I was supposed to send the information to is a individual named Gravik. Gravek. Gravik. Roll me a history check as you heard this name once before.
GR,
Gravek.
a history check? you
History
say?
check, yes.
I'm gonna need a history check on myself.
Both of y'all pulling out
25.
notes.
When you had freed Hemlock, as he rushed from his office, he said, I'm going to assemble a meeting of the city council, and I'll be damned if Gravik tries to stop me. Gravik is the day commander for Port Blayven.
Just gonna slowly kill all of the high-ranking members that are in Port Blayven.
He's a day sheriff.
Yeah,
Him
but that's
was
Commander of the
sheriff.
Guard.
That's still a lot of paperwork that goes through that desk.
And by the way, the city's up, you have what's called the city marshal, you have the day commander, the night commander. Hemlock is the night commander, and Gravik is the day commander.
Hemlock was a nice guy.
Mhm.
I do remember that.
Yes. She is
He,
kind
he,
of.
he has a very fancy cloak.
What is something that I can communicate to your brother that he would know could only come from you to show that I may have earned your trust if I were to attempt to relay some information to him?
Little wizard, what makes you think you've earned my trust?
I may not have. But at this point, we have common goals, and if I'm to attempt to save your brother,
I'll give that, yeah, in that case.
I would need a way.
That's fair, I'll give that, she'll give advantage on that roll, okay. You should just kind of look at you. Tell him I'm still waiting to collect on our bet. By the way, this is like actual crystal you're holding, Grimm. So you just like back up where you just like look at this actual crystal decanter.
All right.
Trying not to break it.
Someone's scared you just.
Regardless of your intentions or motives today, the information that you have given me may very well save all of creation.
Just make sure that when you find whoever the Arcanist is, my brother is safe. Punch your fireball down his throat. Or she just kind of leans back, rolls over, and faces the wall and cop.
Thank you. And I'll run away.
All right. See. You step out in time to see Lord Norno has kind of goes. He tells you that they're heading down to the docks. So we cut now to the four of you walking through Illmeraiya.
And that's when Montel jumped out the window.
Yeah, Billy, that was man.
Yeah.
He did jump out the window.
Yeah, he did
Remember
that.
Chasing Billy.
Chasing Billy.
Yeah.
Finn is just listening.
The goat.
Eyes like this big.
So
Billy was the goat.
So you walk down from the Canopy District into what is known as the Orchard Plaza. This is where the large, like the merchants and shop districts. You never actually looked it up, but there's actually something here called the Wisp-like District, which is the various theaters, brothels, and taverns, that kind of stuff. You move toward
Name of the theater.
within the Orchard Plaza is where you'll find the Green Warden Lounge, or the Lodge, rather, excuse me. It's also where the shops are, to your question earlier.
No, we don't have to do that.
What would you like to do?
I wanted to go to the Green Warden Lodge to check on the Green Warden captain.
So, I've been sitting here with this dice and what I rolled. I will take the one I was using out. Back, if you will kindly. Stop. Hang on. There's a magnet in my board here.
I saw it there.
You open the doors to see Commander Lorenfeld sitting at a table. Looking a little bit beat up and banged up. A little bit scorched on one side of her leather pauldron. Her drake sitting beside her, tearing into some meat. As she looks up and goes, "Oh, thank the gods! I was worried you wouldn't make it back."
I was worried you wouldn't make it back.
Oh, it was just a remora. Don't worry about it.
Would I know what that is?
Oh, what?
You would, the remoras, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
The remoras, these
I'm not-
massive insect, yeah.
myself.
You would know what they are because
I was thinking in game. I was thinking little.
no. She fought a remoras on a natural 20. She killed it.
Nice.
Remoras is this, for those that don't know, Remoras is this massive, giant insect type, centipede type creature. It is a favored food of chromatic dragons. As a creature that is also immune to cold and fire damage, it's a hell of a fight for them to get it, but when they do, they can eat for a while on these things.
We met one of. I don't think you're from this particular card.
I'm not.
One of your own helped us. in
Looks
the
at
fight.
you and you sees them. You're from Caracas. Or Caracas, excuse me. Caracas, whatever the hell it is. Whatever
whatever the fuck my thing's called.
I said it wrong 3
I
times
came,
earlier.
I came up with it. I
Karakis. The name of the city is Karakis. I just said Nirakesh, which is why I'm okay. You're from Karakis. How's old Lord Braynell doing up there these days?
He seems to be doing fine.
Good. I was afraid he's been a little bit loopy. I was concerned for him. I am Commander Orenthal. I lead this lodge of the Green Wardens. What brings you all the way down here out of your territory?
I was investigating a dark presence in the forests near the mountains.
I've been made aware that the Alden Forest as of late has not been the most pleasant of places, and it's felt as being, its darkness is being felt as far down as here. The Illmeraiya I dealt with, I could tell, came from the northern areas. Because out of game, Rakara, you would know this, they are native to Stornakor and Kralot. They like that colder area. And for something to push them down into the more, not tropical, but temperate area of Ilthalas, there would be a reason for that kind of migration. She just kind of leans forward and goes, so, what brings you to my lodge today, though, aside from you just following these misfits here, or?
Our investigations
What's a misfit?
appeared to have crossed paths, and
What's your name?
Finnegan.
Finreal, drop the pretense, my friend. Look, I know in Karakas he likes some pomp and circumstance. It does not matter for me. Lean against the wall, spit, scratch yourself, just relax.
His shoulders immediately.
Captain, this Rimmerez that you fought.
Yes.
Awesome, they killed. Did you notice any void energy? Would you know anything about that?
It looked a little bit crazed, I'll be honest, but I couldn't see anything physically different about it. Apparently it'd been devouring the local livestock. I tracked it back to its hole, a cave in the forest, and thankfully I caught it asleep. And thankfully, she just down. Draken here is a blue drake, so.
Whichever. Scratch that.
Two of them just kind of like eyeing. You see Sev like this massive hunk of some sort of meat just sitting there. Draken puts a claw on it, just. Well, I'm happy you all made it. There was another one with you, I thought.
He.
Did I call up at this point?
At this point, yeah, you would have just asked around. You would find out where they are. The door opening. You see Finnegan kind
Hey, where'd the weird people go?
just like without
Bright pink hair.
like some guard, like without even like just they're in there. Go back to-
The elderly dwarf died doing what he loved, and he fell.
Scruffy died the way he lived.
She just kind of was a hell of a fight.
Hell of a fight.
Yes.
That's all that matters. Where?
Not much of a fight at all, really.
Shut the
Just a
fuck
straight
up.
up ass whooping.
I mean, look, 5 out of 4 hits were criticals. Okay.
It was something to behold.
Behold her where?
Shut up, Hotel. Shut up, Hotel.
She just kind of. Did you manage to bring his body back, or was it?
We buried him there with his kill.
You see her just kind
Seemed
of.
appropriate.
You buried a dwarf under a mountain on the island of the High Elves.
Figured it'd be a big enough middle finger that he'd appreciate it.
Oh, that is beautiful. That's the there is peace and an alliance between Ilthalas and the Dwarven Empire, but let's just say there's a reason there's no Dwarven God, what's it called?
Outpost.
Where the ambassador stays. It's called a.
Embassy.
Thank you.
Embassy.
There's no dwarven embassy in Illmeraiya. They don't like the sea. The fact that this is basically a single piece of land surrounded by water. Apparently, dwarves don't swim very well.
I mean, high bone density.
Like Basset Hounds.
Well, he seemed to come here for some certain reason. I never caught it myself. But
Well,
As far as I knew, was to have a good fight
yeah.
and go to the grave, fight that fight, which is what he did.
I thought it was to drink the city out of ale.
That was the secondary.
where exactly is he laid at?
in,
Rakara knows, Ben doesn't.
Yeah.
in
The
some,
location of the mine.
Yes.
Hey,
you,
pull that
and you
actual
also
map
know
of mine.
that there is currently no way to get into that mine because you're.
you kablooied it.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the gunpowder come from? I missed that part.
In the mine.
It was
It
there.
was explosive powder.
I mean,
Okay.
I mean, it was
a mine.
It was an active mine because they had the Varag Mining Company had went there to mine it.
They don't like the mine itself only been on commission for about 30, 40 years. And they left relatively quickly, and on the roll he made, he found some old small barrels of blasting powder.
Me and Elrond were talking about
Yeah.
this.
And then yeah, he just packed it in and
Because I'm so good at exploding things.
gave a true dwarven burial.
Yeah.
Well,
Fireworks and everything.
I will send word to the other lodges to make sure that his resting place is marked and never disturbed.
We appreciate it.
He died a hero to the elves.
But 1,000 years from now, we're gonna have a zombie void dwarf come out of that mountain, and it's gonna be glorious.
I will be
That's
glad.
future
One
people's.
Let me mark that. I gotta write a future campaign here.
That's a one shot.
Look, I already died in the last one shot.
We won't talk about that. I'm sorry.
Did everybody die in the last one?
Yes.
It's a one shot.
I'm gonna need vengeance one day though.
There's a campaign setting I'm writing for the Ukungu frontier. So
Fade dinosaurs.
yeah. All right. So anyway,
Stop before we get copyright struck.
well, I am glad that neither of us needed the other's help to deal with our individual. What are your plans now, Finnegan?
I
Has
need to fill in this report, and to be honest, have you heard anything of the murder of a dryad?
Yeah.
I was hoping that was just a rumor.
Yeah, the queen can be quite vicious.
The Queen?
Shut the fuck up, man!
She said she heard a rumor.
I had heard a rumor that a member of the Parliament of Trees was speaking with the king.
Oh yeah, she's okay.
For once, it's
Brief
not mine
panic.
too.
As in she's not dead. Like
There's a sudden like change to Lorenthal's visage. He just kind of looks at you and goes, "This issue, this void stuff, does that have anything to do with the Dryad's heart?"
Everything.
Yep.
We've recovered half of it.
You have.
The other half we'll be getting.
Where is the half of it?
Some. what's
I
the
currently
place
don't know,
called?
do I? Did you share any of that information?
Elrond was probably
Or Elrond-
talking.
Elrond
talking
told
me
about
that.
it, because he
Damn
remembered
it.
his name. Nilham?
Nilheim.
Nilheim.
Derek, damn it.
Who has the current half that you have?
I do.
Okay. That's what you said you have half of.
Yes.
So she is asking you, where is this half?
Oh.
Reach in to the pocket and pull out. It's wrapped in a cloth.
Yeah.
currently.
Dryad's heart with you. Did you not think that prudent to give to the emissary from the Parliament of Trees?
I have a glass of all
She is
Clearly.
currently here.
There is a very weak, almost like just a blinking light of the Sylvan, that Fey energy that makes up the Dryads. It's not as strong as it was the first time you saw it, but it's still there.
She is currently in meeting with the king. As soon as she is available.
That is something I would see immediately too, Warden. But it also means that this matter is not over. If someone has half of a Dryad's heart, our duty is clear. The Green Wardens were originally intended to be a bridge between the natural order, the Dryads, the Fae, and the Elves. If someone has committed this heinous crime, I wanted to send messages to my fellow leaders. Do not leave the city. You see as she stands, Draken! Like he stands up, piece of meat in his mouth, the entire time Sev just been getting closer and closer. Come! See him spit it out and walks after her. Sev just looks at you, like asking, just does the whole like lizard swallow thing. The bright sunlit windows, you watch suddenly as one of them becomes very, very dark, and the large, like, circular glass at the top of the lodge also becomes very, very dark. You see like the shadows of a tree standing there, and you hear a very firm but gentle on the door.
I'm getting sent to the principal's office.
This is not Montel's place. He's in the corner opening up.
When she left, did she leave the door open, or?
No, the door, this is not to her office, this is to the doorway coming into the lodge, the front door.
We're in her office, right?
No, you actually walked in, she was sitting at a table in the lodge hall, yeah.
Oh, who doesn't request the door?
It's not my place. I'm not going to answer.
It's not our place.
You open the door and
Nobody's home.
You see a pair of trunk-like legs standing there. And as you look up, and Aldebark goes, "Oh, of course.
Were you expecting someone else?
Well, I felt the call of Lady Rillian, and I had..." You see for a moment, like as in his hand, there's a piece of some stone that he just sets back down. I had assumed that her murderers were still nearby.
Finn will immediately
You hear
go
them.
forward and hold it out to him. We have recovered half.
I need these special dice for her. Where
In
green
his-
dice, green dice.
In his defense, your lady seemed very busy dealing with the king. And
See,
he did not want to
I-
interrupt.
In their defense, I forgot I had it.
So he just looks down. You see him turn and a few seconds pass. Then you see a tree nearby suddenly open up from the center, and a large feminine figure steps through as Lady Daedra, using teleport via plants, steps out and goes,
Oh, can you do that?
Did she use a potted plant in the king's palace?
It's possible.
"Were you to go to the king's palace right now, there is a large tree that has sprouted in the library."
She druid crafted her own tree in the middle of the palace.
Is anyone gonna tell her not to?
She steps up and goes, "Alda, what?" Seriously, stop and looks at you. May I see that, please? Just taking in one hand. By the way, this stone is still a good, so she takes it. You see, sister. It's a base 19. You watch as she closes her hand, puts it to her forehead. Aldebark just kind of standing there, swaying very gently. And you watch as like sunlight is suddenly beginning to slowly pour into her. Her skin lightening, the hair becoming more vibrant, and almost as if it's been hit by a stout breeze as it flares. Green and gold light explodes from her fist. And she suddenly just all stops. Her hair slowly receding back down. Aldebark slowly leaning forward in a bow. As she opens her palm,
I am Groot.
to an acorn. A green and gold acorn with trails of amber running through it. And Illmeraiya lives. Watch as Aldebark lets out this, where the other roar you heard was a roar of a summoning, this like massive roar of joy. You see guards flinch. It shakes the panes of windows. The trees themselves seem to move in celebration.
Pulls out pad, adds roar to shake universe, the list of things he needs to figure out how to copy. Puts notepad away.
She just stares at the acorn, looks up at Aldebark, reaches up, he slowly, just both hands as he comes down and takes and goes, I will see to this immediately, Lady David. Just take her back to our mother's grove. Watch, he just turns and moves out to the tree where she had walked out of as he steps into it and disappears.
My lady, that was only half a heart. Should we
Looks
are
like
able to
great.
find the other half, would you be able to do the same thing to that, or is it?
I have sealed away what was left of my sister's essence within that acorn. Given time, she will restore herself. Should you find the other half of the heart, it will aid in the growth of Rian. But it is not necessary anymore. It still contains her power and the power of the green. But it is now an unnecessary piece.
I was hoping you rendered it useless.
Unfortunately, the power that is contained within a great dryad is not easily rendered useless.
We can still recover it and return it to you so that those who have it now cannot use it for ill.
Yes.
Of course.
She will be taken back to the grove of our mother, planted in fresh soil. And with time, my sister will return. You see her stop for a moment, she realizes, if you will excuse me, I need to go apologize to His Majesty. I may have grew a tree in the middle of his library. Very light laughter. She just kind of looks at the five of you standing there, just gives a slight bow. Turns and moves back to the tree and stepping through it.
I enjoy reading under trees, so it's probably an improvement.
I've had enough to drink today already. Pulls out pack of coffee and just pours it in his mouth.
Just kind of pass what's left of mine to Grimm with a
Pours
shaved
it.
face.
Pours it in.
Other thing,
Puts-
would you like to go see the
Puts this
Dragonborn
crystal
ambassador
into
now?
bag.
That
We're gonna start selling crystal
sounds
cups.
interesting, yes.
It is quite interesting.
Okay. On your way there,
You're gonna need more of that alcohol.
So on the way there, roll me for you. Just roll me a straight luck roll. Let's see if you get lucky.
Oh, he never gets lucky. He's too shy.
You'd be surprised. 14.
14.
That's
You pass by the armorer again, and he does in fact have some of those raging arrows.
Okay.
He has 4.
How much?
200 gold apiece.
Remember how much gold I had? How many gold do I have?
Oh, yeah, I'll take them all in.
Okay.
We'll figure out that.
Yeah.
You're the one with
warden
20.
Because I don't
Like,
spend
lunch.
it.
Yes.
I just find stuff.
Did I receive
I'm
permission
like, I
to
like this, I'm
continue on
keeping
this?
it.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
All right. So right now, she's currently up. You know what? Basically, there is a meeting being held by the warden commanders.
Oh, right. I was simply told not to leave town.
Don't leave town.
There we go.
Yep.
All right.
On the other hand.
It's right about the sea. It's technically still in there.
You move now to the docks, where you see a group of familiar dragonels currently being loaded onto a large skyship. As when you stepped out of the palace, they were not there.
Well,
They
Also being
repoed them
stolen.
jokers quick.
Bye, scaly ponies.
Sea baby claws, not hooves.
Ponies. You're right, then they're clearly ponies.
A dragonborn wearing this deep emerald armor, trimmed in other chromatic, like other colors of gems and chromatics, steps forward and goes, "Are you the natural ones?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have orders to bring you to the ambassador to speak to him
Did we bugger out?
On the boat.
on the ship." Yes.
Oh, this is on you. Sorry.
That's all of us. Let's go.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
But
collectively
it's
the
your
natural
people.
ones. So.
I was told to bring all of the natural ones
Oh.
to before Ambassador Karjan.
Well, okay, we buggered up.
Uncomfortable shifting on the dock.
Honorary.
Honorary.
member.
We lost someone. You've joined us now.
You're in
see
trouble
mistake.
for something that I may or may not have participated
You are now honorary natural one.
Some random person walked over with a fishing rod. Grimm just grabs it.
That was it. You are now a natural one.
Just hands it.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So the Dragon's Reach, the pride of the Croatian, the Croatian skyship fleet, is roughly the size of a Spanish galleon. 3 decks, 4 masts. This thing is massive. The weir stones that are used to keep this thing aloft constantly hum and thrum with power. Because this is the largest ship, it actually is moored on the bottom level of the conical towers for the skyships. The actual the rudder and spine of the hull, no more than 12-15 feet above the waterline of the docks. Were it not for the large arms that have come up and latched onto it, it would literally hit into the water. So you are all led into the conical tower, and then up a small set of stairs, and are deposited on a platform connected to the top deck of the Dragon's Reach. You see the Dragonels being lowered down in the hull, men moving about, preparing things. You get a sense that this ship is soon to be underway. As the Dragonborn who led you on here takes you back into not a singular captain's quarters, but it is a kind of a double-tiered deck house. You can tell there are about 4 or 5 rooms maybe. You're led into one of the grandest rooms as he stands there at the. You hear in Draconic, yes.
I don't understand a word.
Yes.
Yep.
I do.
You do. What he says is, I have the natural ones. Actually, that you would hear because the yes, a natural ones. There was a response, bring them in. The door opens and you see your father sitting at a desk with a large ledger he's shutting. As
A long time ago.
roll a perception check, by the way,
Oh,
Grimm.
jeez. Perception on weak. That's a 14.
As you're walking through, you're pretty sure you get a few stink eyes cast in your direction.
When in danger, flex.
Rakara, you know very well that even though, there is some hostility with nobody on here would be done to make a move against him, as an invited guest of the ambassador. You are all led into the room with doors shut behind you. You see as
my ears are burning.
Ambassador Claude-Jean stands, looks at all of you and goes, I hope the dragonelles were of some use in common, as he's speaking.
They perform excellent, as always.
I'm glad. I received word that a few of them had what appeared to be burn marks on their feet. From where they scattered the sap of the blighted tree.
Mine was immune, so.
Well, the original, it became, the original when it stepped into it, there was a bit of like acidic burn to it.
We had an encounter with some blighted tree and other craziness in the
Well,
forest.
I am glad they were able to be of use to you.
I'm thankful you lent them to us.
So, I brought you back, all of you here, because I would like to have a word with you. I have heard of the fall of your companion, the dwarven fighter. You have my deepest condolences, though I understand he went out as any member of his race would be proud to do. The dwarves and our empire have had a unusual friendship. They believe that the Weirstones that are found on Krelat are stolen property. To be fair, most dwarves believe that anything under the surface of Faeterra belongs to them. I am here purposefully delaying my return back to the Empire.
You look similar. Are you related?
Roll me an insight check.
He's just
I've
now
never-
putting this together.
I've never met this one before in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
12. It's just a straight roll.
Do me a favor, on the Southern D&D Discord, send me the name again, please, because it's on my phone, I just can't get to it.
Name of
The name that you gave.
The name of your father.
No, not your father. Your name.
my name.
Yes.
Oh, Zamora.
Your real name.
Okay. All right.
What's with all these secret names?
Finnegan doesn't know. Finnegan's over here. Finnegan.
Do we spell out? Or?
No, you did. I just want to make sure I had it right. I would like to know what measure of company my son has kept since his resurrection.
What?
Takes a half step further back.
I bet it's
Hang on,
better
you're
than
dead.
the company he kept while he was dead.
Forgive me, you must understand.
Poke.
He is dead only according to the records of Krelat. Died in
Oh.
combat repelling an orcish raiding party.
Wasn't part of it.
You step back with me.
So he stands, you see as he stands and walks over to the door, he locks it behind you. Feel a familiar, like, muffling as you basically been cut off, like sanctuary being cast, as he turns and goes,
Every place we go to.
I brought you here not as... What are you doing?
Putting a hand on Seb to keep him from freaking out.
You're just kidding. I brought you here not as the ambassador to the Draconian Empire, but as a father who finally wishes to see and speak to his son.
Oh. That's it.
These.
Magic. It's sanctuary magic. Basically, it's muffled. Nobody can. You cannot be perceived or scribed upon from the outside.
These.
So,
At least I should get
Zamar,
arrested for this one.
these are your friends.
Friends, comrades, brothers in arms. These are some of the best fighters I've fought along since forever. I'd rather die with these than any draconian army.
High praise from a former member of the Emerald Squad. So, tell me about yourselves. He walks over to a standing cabin opening, yet with more alcohol.
Well, sir.
Let me tell you my life story. Let me tell you my
See,
Finnegan cast a cantrip, summon chalkboard.
For real,
For real, Dad. For real.
it is a surprise to see you in such a elite position, knowing your background, our background. But in this position, what do you know of Lysorin, the Void?
I was offered this position by the king, and doing a soldier's duty, I took it. This is my first ambassadorial journey.
God, speak crazy.
I am an old soldier. I do not belong in the halls of politics. But I am past my prime. Not fit to stand on the battlefield anymore. Now my battlefields include pens and paper and treaties and treatises. But as for Vysoren, I know nothing more than what the stories we were told as children. I told you as a child. Samara, I am glad to see you. When I stood up at the monument to you, I felt something break within me. Having lost your mother and then leaving having lost you, I did not think I had anything left to live for. Be careful, Draken Fire Whiskey. Roll your con.
You told him to be careful. This is him careful.
That is con save, you said?
Yes.
That's 17.
17. You ever chugged an entire thing of Fireball all at once?
Yes.
Multiply that by about 3.
Oh, God.
This is sipping alcohol.
You okay there?
Surprised. Most non-draconians fall unconscious with the seizures after they're drinking that much.
He's,
To be fair, so do most draconians.
this one's been through a lot. You should see the scar on his chest.
Montel just pulls out his water.
What caused that, great monarch?
Avoid pleasure.
I'll do minor illusion and show him the creature.
Water? Okay.
Where have you seen this creature?
We've fought several.
we blew one up on the boat, but under you. I blew, remember the boat when you came down?
That was...
We blew that up.
It was a similar
This,
thing.
the one that hurt him, was way back.
You watch as he walks over to his
Yeah, but
desk,
after we fought the one on the boat with the captain, he
I
came
know,
down.
I know.
opening the drawer and pulling out a leather dossier As he drops it down, you see several papers, including a rough sketch of Void Slicer. The writing is draconic.
Damn.
Father? What?
This creature was seen in Krelat. Look here at my notes, forgive me.
Should I try that?
It was trying to enter Orvok. Orvok is the largest city in the north. Sits within the Orkrag crater. On the edge of the Zerakel mountain range. The city guards were able to put it down before it was able to do any damage, but it simply appeared in the city center and began attacking people. The only individual who could not be located was a scribe for the council. It was thought that maybe this was some sort of assassination attempt.
From our experience, some of these creatures can take the skin of other creatures and assume their appearance. Not all of them can. But certain ones.
This is just a first report that I've received. I assume that more information will be waiting for me when I return to Drakan. What information do I need to know about them?
Yeah. I'll tell.
Guard yourself with
Silver.
with
Yes.
items that guard against shape changers. These creatures are made of void and infernal
Not always.
magic. These particular ones were.
Yeah.
There's a different kind that is.
Well, the slicers are abyssal. Demonic.
Abyssal.
Yeah, demonic.
Okay.
There's a different kind that we faced that is the one that gave him his scar. I'm not for sure what kind of magic it is with. Seems to be more of a zombie than anything else. Last time we came across one, I tried to bound it with silver chain and it turned it to the thing that attacked us.
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
Our minor illusion through all the different
Yeah,
ones we fought, so.
So this, the humanoid, this is more of a zombie and undead
Mhm.
than the one
Silver
here.
does damage to it.
They're
It's almost like a.
they're all infused with void magic, and someone is experimenting and creating these creatures with different void plus some different types of.
I see. It's almost as if a caterpillar, a chrysalis, or a cocoon, which leads you to wonder what's the next step then.
Can I make a history roll to try to remember what the high priestess, cause when we talked to her the first time after getting the stone out
Yeah.
of Grimm's chest, I told her something in a language I did not understand, or I mimicked it as best as I could. Can I make a history roll to try to remember what she told us it was?
The language you spoke?
No, not the language I spoke. What she told us that I spoke.
Well, the actual words you said.
Yes, because she finished my sentence, told me never to say that in that place ever again, and then told us what I had just said.
Jesus Christ, man, you're making me go way back here, aren't you?
I don't remember that. Wow.
Okay.
Look,
God, that was
I'm,
forever ago.
look, the only reason I remember this is because I was told by somebody who saved my life not to say something ever again
Yeah.
in a church. And Montel is not religious, but overly religious at the same time.
That was the priestess of Morrowind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yes.
The high priestess.
I don't have her. Yeah, I have her name, actually.
Harona Karthus,
Yes.
the Asimar cleric, the Grang. Okay.
Because it was one of the few times I used performance to actually do something.
So, I'm trying to find it.
I wasn't there, so.
Yeah, this
No.
was, oh, Jesus.
before me. While you're looking
Yeah.
that up, I'm gonna ask him if I can look at the dossier file that he has.
Can you write Draconic?
I mean, I can write Draconic, I won't know what I'm writing,
I mean,
but.
He looks at you and just, my son speaks highly of you. He pushes it, and you can look at it. Just whatever you read, please, go no further than yourselves. The only thing I have in my notes here, Montel, is the line, Helen, it's, hang on. Oh, no, it was a line from the prophecy.
I have that written here. Do you remember what it was?
Was it the first line of the prophecy?
Sort of, no, okay, so what you began to say was chaos rise and darkness will claim all,
Mm-hmm.
which is the last line, lest chaos rise and the darkness will claim all, the last line of the first stanza. But you begin to repeat that in abyssal, in that language. That's okay. So I'm sitting here going, yes, that I'm like,
I remember there was something I parroted
yeah.
to her that she told me never to say again because I did not understand it, but I was trying my best to speak it.
Well, it's, that's what it was. The way that it summoned the power is it invoked, let chaos rise and darkness claim all.
Okay.
That's what it was. Jesus Christ, Montel, you might have to go way back in the back. Point of inspiration will make me think. Jesus, wow, okay.
But I will let him know that because it was speaking abyssal. Although I do not know if it was with abyssal magic, but it did react to silver, so it may have been undead magic of some sort or another.
Now, what are you looking for?
I'm gonna have, Finreal
Fin and Fit, gotcha.
read the dossier aloud, like we're gonna go to like a
Gotcha, okay.
desk away, and he'll read it
Translation
aloud, and I
services.
will write everything in common
Okay.
as we go.
All right, so basically, it's just strange creature possible attempt on the Crystallic Council. The Crystallic Council is it is recognized by the Draken Throne in the south. They allow them to kind of be the governmental entity to the north in Kralot. But all in all, they still have to answer to the Draken Throne. However, there is a growing wedge between the crystal dragons of the north and the metallic dragons of the south.
Gym Dragons, you mean?
Thank you, Gym Dragons, yes. That's the Crystallic Council. It's basically just a quick rundown of what happened, a lot of theories, a lot of testimony, that kind of stuff. It's just a simple first draft police report type thing.
These creatures, has Finreal encountered any of them?
The Void Slicers?
Yeah.
You have not.
Okay.
While they're doing that, Montel will bring up the experiment we had done with the crystals that we had gotten, and let them know that a high priest should be able to get the stone out, but to not bring any form of great amount of magic to one, nor should one if it is a processed stone. And he's going to ask Rakara to minor illusion what a processed stone looks like.
What
Makes
you
too
remember,
many
the reason that the high priest could take the one out of Grimm is one, it had basically been forced into him, so his body was trying to fight it anyway. For the Void Slicers, it's more of a, not natural, but their body is basically accepting of it.
Well, that's what I mean, is like if someone gets stabbed.
Gotcha,
with
okay,
one,
gotcha.
and just to let him know that
So as your ways to combat, ways to combat.
I'm giving him all the information we know for how to fight.
Gotcha. So he begins to rattle this down.
Hit really hard and stay away.
Go ahead.
And then it's also, he lets him know about the processed ones, how if they stay in the body long enough, they seem to draw all the life out of them. And it's what we believe that's how they are processed. And if they ever get a processed one and a unprocessed one, never put them close together, for they will shatter.
While you two are looking over the information, there is something that you read aloud, and you pick up on it. You mentioned the cult of the Five Claws. This is a fringe religious cult that worships Tiamat. There has always been kind of issues with it within Krylot, because the worship of Tiamat, while not, for lack of a better term, it is illegal.
One of the betrayers.
She is one of the. She was the first, but literally betrayed Bahamut, one of the first betrayer gods. But she is the only one whose power was not removed from her when the Deva were created. She's also the mother of all dragons, so in a way they can't outright say it's illegal, but they go that any well-meaning dragonborn would not worship Tiamat.
It's from
Yes, and because I love the way it looks, you know the symbol is literally, it's the symbol of the dragon cult, the 5 different colored claws.
I use that in my game.
Yes, it's a great symbol.
I'll say it's possible that the cult is working with.
Then the reason was there was evidence that the scribe that was killed or was seemingly disappeared had contacts to the cult of 5 claws.
Just an out of character thing that I know Rakara would know is we have come across someone who was in the cult of the 5 claws, who was working with him.
Yeah, I killed him.
Yeah.
The Black Dragon.
One inspiration. I'll give you. Yeah, you remember them. I'll give it to you as well, Rakara. Yeah. Because the point is, I'm sitting going, do they remember?
Yeah, I remember.
If I remember that far back, I remember that recent.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's possible the cult of the 5 claws has been working with the coterie. We've been fighting these idiots.
And that is not mentioned in there. It goes, that is news to me and to the intelligence, such as it is of Krylot. We have our own issues with the Shadow Claws, are the kind of clandestine thieves network that lives within the Draken and within the Krylatian Empire. They are more militant, more militarized than the coterie. And as such, their members are very secretive. The last stronghold of theirs was overwhelmed and destroyed hundreds of years ago, but to this day there's still evidence of them within every city, every aspect of Krylot. They're very good at hiding.
Does the coterie have a stronghold in Krylot?
Not that we know of, though we have received. Our intelligence has received rumors that there has been several ships have been sighted off the Croatian coast of late. None of our vessels could catch them, and they always seemed to be leaving Krylot, never approaching it.
How close is Krylot to the
All right, so
broken Tusk Isles?
the Blood Tusk Isles?
Blood Tusk Isles.
So north, south, east, west. Felmont. I have to remember, excuse me, So on this side is Felmont. This is Stornacore, Nasoria, Wildweir, and the Darren Verge. Ilthalos is here. Krillot comes up to Stornacore. The Frostspire Island with the Platinum Star sits kind of to the north of center. Bloodtusk Island sits off the coast of Stornacore, just south of Midway, between Frostfire Island and Stornacore. It's on the other side of it.
Okay.
So maybe a week's travel if you go take the long way up and around.
Okay.
Excuse me.
What you thinking?
God, you don't
Trying to put 2 and 2 together
Hmm?
and equal 5.
Wait,
I can talk to you telepathically anyway.
actually, you should have a ring now.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
We'll give
say
it,
that
we'll
it
give
was-
it to. I don't need a ring. We'll give it to Finn.
Okay, except I need to tell you something.
You can still tell me something. I can talk back to you. I'm telepathic.
But he's not
But-
telepathic.
But I'm not
He's not
telepathic.
telepathic. Without
I
the
can
ring-
shoot
You
you a
need,
link.
you need the ring so that he can message to you and initiate
Yeah,
conversation.
he can initiate
Yeah,
conversation.
the ring only communicates to other ring wielders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you telepathic. No.
That would be dope.
That's the next level of these rings.
So
The ring doesn't allow you to send up telepathic messages
only
to anybody.
only to other ring carriers.
Ah,
Yeah.
welcome back
That's
to
why it
the-
was
I'm sorry.
important for us to have these.
Fine, I'll take a ring.
One of us is going to strangle Rakara, and it might be all 3 of us together.
Yeah.
I already have
What?
2 of them, so fine. Another ring, whatever.
Montel is going to shoot to you. Should we give your dad the information on the safe passages of the waters, the smuggler's paths,
The
that
safe
we have?
routes through the Cosmic Sea.
Yes,
Who all knows about that?
I think that everyone except him in this group. Because I know for a fact Montel knows about
Do the
it.
smuggler passages go up through Krillon?
If they are safe passages in and around the Cosmic Sea. There is one that at a certain time it actually goes within a few dozen miles, or it's rather within 100 miles of the Croatan coast.
I would share at least that with him then, but
Just share the one path and when that is available.
Yep.
Sure.
I'll tell him. I'll write down the information for him.
And he'll let you know that because that's about the frequency at which these ships are appearing. Which would be about maybe like once every other month, once every 3 months around that time.
They'll also be most likely coming off of the Tusk Islands,
Blood
they'll be
Tusk.
working Blood Tusk Island, and they'll be working with the Sky Claws.
I'll have that looked into as well.
Shoot them down on sight.
No offense to present company, we tend to treat anything coming from Stornacore unannounced to Krillot as hostile.
I'm taken. What? I didn't have anything to do with this.
Anything else that I can do for you, or any more information you have for me?
maybe a personal bit, and I will have Rin come to me where she's like in Rakara.
Yeah.
This is Rin.
Have a pseudo dragon.
Hi, Dad. I have a pet.
Can we keep her? And I'll pull the leather pouch off, and I'll pull the ring box. Not open the ring box, just pull the ring box out. And when I stepped off the boat in Port Blayven, and the first building I walked into was the Grey Oak, and this was waiting there for me, eventually. and this started everything. I dare not open it here or anywhere. But,
Appears that Muhammad's will was for you to get mixed up in this after all, and for that you had to die, I suppose, son.
it was Muhammad who told me to come to Ilfalos.
The Platinum Dragon moves in circles and knows things beyond any of our mortal minds. He just kind of reaches and takes and pushes the box back toward you. Whatever you and your friends do, please be careful. If I can help you in any way through my station or through myself, let me know. You hear a muffled, I believe that is going to be the captain letting me know we are prepared to get underway.
Safe travels.
If you are ever in Drakon, stop in and say hello, Zamara. Forgive me, Rakara. He kind of smiles and you watch as he walks over and unlocks the door, and you feel the air return to normal. Sure enough, open the door. There is a copper dragonborn standing there in full military regalia. Ambassador in Draconic, we are prepared to set sail, sir. Responding with, see our guest off, Captain, and then make for home. So if you are begin to let off the ship, anything else?
Silly, would I have recognized any of the Dragonborn on the ship?
No, because you were a member of the army. This is Navy.
Oh.
The same reason while that there are military branches, there's still like over 2 million active members in our military.
Okay.
It's that kind of thing.
Is this the Navy or the Air Force? That's the question.
Yes.
Yes. It's like Starship Troopers. You have the mobile infantry, and then you have the Navy, but they're in ships, like spaceships. It's kind of the same thing. So we'll pause here to take our break, as it is a little after 8. With you stepping off of the docks, stepping out of the Congo Tower back onto the docks. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. And I'm going to run to the restroom, and I'll come back in, and we'll be taking questions.
Sweet.
Are you going to go grab food?
Let me find
I'm
out.
probably just gonna go Dollar General and grab a drink and
Okay.
snack.
Montel, if you're running over to what's the place, I would gladly send you some money to get me some food.
Sure.
I thought we had a dinner tonight. I mean, it could be anything.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Way to
I mean,
ruin
it's
this
the Gandhi
surprise.
banner. I thought it was gonna be just
Aren't we supposed to have that banner of every single religion in this world?
Sorry.
You know, that way
I
we
dropped it earlier and it got mud on it. It's my fault.
How am I supposed to know which one to point to when I say which religion?
I don't know where I'm going. My bad.
Walk with milk, large size food,
Fries or anything?
no fries.
Get all these notifications cleared.
Yeah, I'm not even going. I'm just gonna look through. Some of my stuff real quick, and then once we get to questions, I'll start talking again. Oh, this was interesting. Still is. Oh, that's the name. Okay. For a second there, I thought the demon that came out of Tithe Taker was Adrax. No, it's Alderex that came out. So I was like, oh. I thought we dealt with them. No. Him, her, whatever. The demon thing.
All right.
Hello.
Let's talk to some people.
Hello, we talk to the people. Hello, people.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, let us know, please.
Don't you just love the people?
Oh, let me. There we go. Get back to my life. No.
Bad YouTube. Bad.
Yeah, I do apologize about YouTube. I don't know why. Literally, it just says, going live, and that's it. I probably skipped a step or something somewhere. If you'll reach and close my camera, I think it may have died.
Yeah, probably did. Which I find very odd, because don't you have it plugged in?
Well, I have it plugged in for visual.
Well, I can't close it until I unplug the...
Yeah, it's all right, Funky
Cord,
Dirt. We appreciate just, we know things kind of got, just, unplug that, close it.
Yeah.
But yeah, look forward to having you back next week.
It's very unfortunate we couldn't get on YouTube, but oh well. We'll get it figured out.
At least everything is facing the right way this time, using the back camera.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we got that figured out. The back camera.
Yeah, well, still it's not wide lens, unfortunately, but
So unfortunately we can't do the whole, actually have it vertical like TikTok wants you to have.
there is a wide angle adapter I may be able to find for it, where it basically just focuses it through a wide angle lens.
Interesting. But yes, questions, if anyone has any, we'll be happy to answer as best we can. Still waiting for a certain piece of information to be shared.
Hello, everyone joining. We're just taking a small break from our game. Picking back up here in a while.
Yep.
How do I come up with ideas for scenarios? A lot of them, I believe Beck will agree with this. Good DMs take inspiration from other sources. Great DMs rip them off shamelessly.
Yes.
A lot of times I'll see or hear something that somebody else has done, or read something somewhere and be like, hey, that's a great idea. So what I'll do is I'll kind of spin my own little flair to it and make the scenario.
Yep.
Hours later, that's what this game is, dude. It's sometimes just you go for hours in a single area talking to people.
Sometimes entire sessions can just be role play sessions. There's also the quote unquote shopping episode
Yeah.
where the entire session all you're doing is shopping.
Funky Dirt, my question, what did I miss? A lot.
You might have to watch the
Input,
YouTube release
no.
at this point.
Everyone's character type. So, what food did I order? I got some Burger King coming. So we have Beck. I'll just let you go ahead.
Character type.
And what are
that
you
would
playing?
be, I'm a half to elf Drake Warden Ranger.
One of the ones missing, Montel, is playing as a human bard rogue. Rakara is a dragon soul sorcerer and samurai fighter.
White soul or
Like divine soul.
Divine soul.
That's a
Divine
divine
soul.
soul. Yeah. You think we'd remember it by now?
a dragonborn divine soul sorcerer fighter samurai.
That's the order.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to remember.
It's a lot of
because it's so
words.
long.
And I play halfling wizard.
And I play a half-orc barbarian.
Yeah, Queen Bee, no Pringles today.
There might be some in the pantry if you want some.
I'm good. Oh.
I have no idea what else in there.
Of the snack cupboard. Oh. Yeah, this is I figured going into this session there's gonna be a lot of information, a lot of exposition type stuff, which I love those. Like combat is great. I love setting up combat, but getting into the story, kind of explaining my thought processes,
Yeah.
Realizing as I'm saying something that really doesn't make sense, so let me adjust it as I'm saying it to kind of fit the flow, or things have happened or changed, or I need to readjust. Because that does happen as a dungeon master. Sometimes, like mid-flow, you have to go, wait a second, they did this to change that, so I've got to put that in now. And so, yeah.
Yeah. That's why having good improv skills is something that's almost mandatory for
Very
a GM.
much so. I literally did a game one time where it was called the random game, where everything was rolled up on charts. The characters were rolled up on chart, when they came across the monsters, the items. It was hilarious.
Wow.
That game,
had to have been-
that group became known as Rufus and the Krakens.
Nice.
Hey, thanks for the likes, Gregory. Likes, Gregory Dale, not lice, likes. Thank you for the likes.
Yes, thank you for the lice.
I should write comic books. Oh wow, thank you. That is high praise.
Indeed.
I've thought about writing writing books and stuff based in Faeterra, but it's. Thank you, I appreciate it. Started doing a thing now where I guess people liked it, where I do like a weekly reading of a fantasy novel. Hey, there is our divine dragon soul sorcerer fighter samurai.
Want to be paladin?
Want to be paladin?
Yes.
What's the YouTube? Okay, so the YouTube channel is the same as the TikTok, Southern D&D, and I post the entire episodes up there. I try to edit them for time and for content, and try to have them up by Wednesday evening, Thursday morning at the latest, after the game here on Sunday. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, Total JS.
This was Pathfinder. What?
No.
I've been playing the wrong system the whole time. I thought this was GURPS.
Y'all are playing.
Oh, thank you.
Mage
Appreciate it.
Division?
Yep, 5e.
Oh, crap. And let me guess, you're playing World of Darkness.
We're playing Fatal. No.
Oh,
No.
God. No. So much no.
I now have a podcast that hopefully is about to come out pretty soon. We're getting everything finalized, and we plan for an episode to talk about the different systems. And I want to discuss the worst system of all time, known as Fatal, which nowadays is it's like from another time, another land. But when it came out, was for adults. It's like adults. Treachery, adventure.
I forget what it is,
Yeah.
too. And
But
quite frankly, I don't care.
It is the most
Heinous.
This is a system that is made for and is attracted to the type of role player, the type of person I do not want at my table.
It is utterly atrocious and heinous. And when I first read about it, I thought it was
Fantasy adventure to adult lecherousness.
There you go.
That's what it's called.
Yes. And when I first read about it, I thought it was a joke. And then I found out it was real.
And it has been voted the worst gaming system of all time. It came out with one edition. They came out with a second edition to try to make it better. Because the company went under. It doesn't.
Well, as they should.
Hey, Montel.
Oh, Montel's here.
Yeah. And we still got 13 minutes. Good.
But, yes. You almost have to talk about Fatal if you're going to talk about the different game systems.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, that is one. And
it is literally the red flag game system.
it's the epitome of this is
Appreciate
what
that,
you
thank you.
don't play.
Exactly.
Are you familiar with Iron Sworn?
Not really. No, that's not what I know a lot about.
I've played a game of Iron Sworn.
What's so bad about it? Okay. Total J, I'm gonna give you the mildest thing wrong with this. Where in character creation, you roll for various things, including a stat called, and I apologize, anal circumference.
He's not lying, folks.
The mechanics were you rolled. You had to literally show you rolled right into handle circumference. The mechanics were horrible. Imagine if somebody took D&D 4th edition and complicated it.
Oh God, that is so apt.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. In fact, it's so bad. If any of you like to listen to stuff about like the different people that read the Reddit posts and things, there's an entire section that somebody read. I think his name is like Red X on YouTube about that about a guy that was running that session that system.
Now, who's?
Do I get a straw?
Which one's worse? The one who runs the game of Fatal or the one who plays the game of Fatal?
There may be one.
Hey, Riff Raff, Seth, welcome. The game's going great. Taking a little break the evening. A lot of information. Apparently, Crowlin was well known in Illmeraiya, so he's been asked about.
Yeah, apparently.
What I liked about Earnsworn was you can fail or you can succeed, but succeed at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
I like that bit.
It was failure. Hit, weak hit, and strong hit. What I remember. Well, no, there was another thing, which we may have played something with weirder rules, which was
You're welcome.
if you rolled low but didn't critically fail and you added all your stuff together and it succeeded, it was
We miss you too, Seth.
you
Yes.
fail but
Yes.
forward.
Come back,
Fell
Seth.
forward. Okay.
You fell forward. If you rolled like
But we're hoping the
ground, I think
show's
it was
going
like,
good.
6 to 12, and you succeeded. It happened normally,
All right.
and then it was, I think it was 15 to 19. If you rolled that and you succeeded with benefits, and then if you rolled the highest you could, and didn't have enough negatives to make you fail, whatever you needed to happen happened.
Huh.
Maybe not what you wanted to happen, but what you needed to happen would happen.
Well, that just shows you almost, Seth.
Sounds interesting.
All right. Let's pull Brindley Mulligan and while I have a lull and you guys are talking, but eat my sandwich real quick. Okay.
Purpose of the castle.
So, as we now on the way back to Macomb, not from Hattiesburg. Wow. Oh, sorry, from Hades-Bug. Drive safe, my friend. I make that trip a lot. Okay, so now with that, I'm about to go off of live. If you have any more questions, if you'd like to join my Discord, I'm always on there answering questions. But I'm about to I'm going to go back. My mods can answer certain questions. We're going to come back into the game now. Give a quick introduction to everybody's character. Just make sure people who've joined. And thank you all for watching. All right. So, as we begin to pick back up, starting now with Beck, if you'll give a short introduction, character name, class, that kind of stuff.
Finnegan Nefarin, a half-elf Drake Warden Ranger.
Sorry, I'm trying to swallow so I don't be rude.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Damn it.
That's what she
Oh.
Oh, come on. Fuck you. That's funny. Fuck you. That's funny.
I'm too far away for this.
I'm Michael. I'm playing Montel, Bard Rogue, and one of the few people here to not hit on someone.
That was over.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
I said few.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Grimwald Grizzlebrand, also known as Grimm, the half-orc barbarian.
I am playing Rakara Karajan, the Divine Soul Sorcerer, Emerald Dragonborn, Divine Soul Sorcerer, Fighter Samurai.
Wannabe paladin.
And I am Ricky. I play Finnegan Tenderfoot, the Halfling Wizard.
And I am Southern D&D, a.k.a. the Dungeon Master, player of NPCs, and technically I flirt with all of them.
Technically, yeah. Also known as Daniel Moffat.
So, as we now, were any napkins sent, by the way? Ah, thank you. As we now come back into the story, with all of you standing on the docks as the Dragon's Reach slowly pulls out of its berth, leading back, the Weirstones firing, lifting the prow of the ship up, before slowly turning and moving up into the sky, gaining altitude before once clearing all the docks and the city buildings. You see a bright and moves off.
Dude,
That's a
that is
ship.
a huge ship.
As you just kind of standing there looking around, a voice goes, excuse me, is one of you Lord Finnegan? This is from Warden Commander Lorenthal. Hand you a piece of paper. Good day.
Good day.
Recognize one of the courier, member of the courier guild.
I've sent a message. Your hands only.
It is your orders, detaching you to the Natural Ones, on an official capacity on behalf of the Green Wardens, to recover or destroy the lost half of the Dryad Heart.
Oh, which of you seems like the most leadery person to come aboard?
Yeah, of course. Always. What?
I think as the fighter and the soldier, you have the most leader qualities.
All right.
Which was not was expecting when I joined the game to begin with.
It was a tie between the two of you, so just that side of the table.
So I don't want to be the face in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I'm the face, just not a good one.
Okay. You also see, make sure that I can get here so I have their name.
Back away.
We just have all our mail forwarded to the doctor from now on.
Is that a thing, like a mail bag? Like a bag of holding that they stick the mail and it pops up the other side?
No, wherever, basically, like, unless they know where you are right now, it just goes to your last known address.
Oh.
That's a shame.
That explains why Mantel's never gotten any mail.
Next time you go home, though, you're just gonna make a mountain of it. All right.
It's all your bills you haven't paid.
You do see that the Lazy Breeze is still also docked at the high point of the other tower.
I thought they were leaving like 2 weeks ago.
Hey, they could have
Isn't
gone
that-
back.
They did leave, yeah.
They let them come out?
Maybe part of the shipping route. I don't know. You know more about ships than I do.
Let's go say hello.
Come on.
And already on my way.
You
Either they
You ever
follow
been
me
on
or
a
they
flying
don't.
ship before?
No.
You, like
I mean, she was just on a flying ship.
standing on one, yes. Let's like have journeying on one.
As
no,
it's
you've never been on.
going. Have you ever been on
You've
one?
never journeyed on a sky ship.
It's fucking awesome. You're coming with me. You're coming with me.
Except for like the starting. Tie yourself down. It helps.
Concern.
Only because your balance sucks.
Oh yeah, you need to come see the wyvern that they turned to wood. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That is
More
so
concern,
cool.
right?
More concern.
That is so cool.
As you go up this, as you take the elevator up to the top of the tower, you see as you step out, the Lazy Breeze has a new figurehead on the front. Its mouth open in mid-roar, wings pulled back and kind of flowing into the side of the ship, the body being carpentered and tapered down into the prow, is the wyvern.
I think that's an improvement.
And on the side, you see where the name Lazy Breeze was once before is now gone and covered up and now replaced with a new name. This is the Wyvern's Rest.
Nice.
Perfect.
You see as you stand there, you hear a familiar voice, Natural Ones! And you turn to see Samantha Dean, Sam Dean, come hurrying down the gangplank.
Yes, that one.
And come hurrying down the gangplank and just rushes over to 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, Rakara.
Of course.
Good.
Just like latches onto your leg. I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, I was hoping we'd run into you after we got back. We had to run supplies up to one of the northern coast cities, and we were coming back through when we received word. I'm happy to see. She's just kind of hugging and
Receive word.
Eleanor. Let me get you her full name here because this is on a different page.
The captain of it all, right?
Captain Eleanor Skydrop,
Right.
the half-orc female.
Or Haggerty if you want to.
Yeah, or she just kind of leaning against the. Yes, I received word from Haggerty to come back here. Apparently, I'm to be your trip home.
Really?
About that,
About what?
I'll pull up the letter and
Hold on.
pass it around.
Letter that says one simple phrase in a familiar handwriting you recognize to be Haggerty's. Kieran's body is gone.
Did Haggerty, how did he get a hold of you, Captain? Matching beans?
The couriers guilds have ways of contacting, communicating with each other. And when I made dock at Caracas to drop off supplies, there was a courier waiting for us when we got there. Then it originally came to Illmeraiya. They had a copy of our shipping route, and when we got to Caracas, the information was waiting for me to return. He watches Grimm just balls the piece of paper up.
Montel punches the nearest hard thing.
Roll me a strength check. See how hard you punch it.
Damn!
Roll the 19, so that's an 18.
You slam your fist into the stonework of this dock. You don't break anything, but you feel like you may have bruised a bone. You just kind of.
Okay, now then.
Since I have one of them fancy rings now.
Montel just broke his wisdom.
I rolled a wisdom check to see how Montel would react. I rolled a natural one. So I was like,
That's apropos. That's very apropos.
of course he's going to hit something.
I surmise it's this damn coterie. Again. There always has. I'll say it out loud for Finn's benefit. Finn number 2.
It's time.
It's time?
It's time
Time for what?
for war.
I'm going to fucking murder everybody!
We've spent far too much time chasing and not enough time cutting off. It's time to get ahead of all of this.
How soon can we leave, Captain?
Well, about 5 minutes before you showed up, Elrond has made his way into the hold. So we were just waiting for you. We can leave whenever you're ready.
We're ready to go.
March on.
I would like,
Wait.
I need an hour.
I can easily give you an hour. That's no problem.
I need to go communicate with the king before we leave.
You do think it would be prudent just to like let the king and your other interested parties know you're just not leaving without.
And Lord Nurnell.
We have a message.
I felt the wisdom say, I'm already up the mass.
What I-
the new mass.
What I need is going to
He's
require
up there too.
more than a simple
Me and you're supposed to hold open this thing's mouth.
Actually,
Get
there's-
the
delay
fuck
of
off
the
me.
message.
This is my house.
Actually, by the way, Montel, that figurehead, the wyvern's head, is now on the front of the ship. You'd have to swing out and crawl in.
Yeah, it's a figurehead now.
But
It's
both
not
of
actually.
you think I won.
Alright.
I'll
So,
go, since he proposed that, I'll remember to go, I'll go find a contact,
Okay.
over your then, yeah, myself.
All right. So where are you heading, Finn?
what's closer, the castle or Lord Nurnell's estate?
Lord Nurl's estate, just because you literally walk past it to get to the
Okay.
palace.
Alright, so I'm gonna stop at Lord Nurnell's estate, hope that he's there.
As you knock on the door, you hear the sound of the doorknob turning, and you hear a faint. You see the very open, hard, the heavy oak wooden door being opened, and Leah is standing there, looking eye level at you. Goes, Mr. Finnegan.
Lady Leia,
Hello.
is your father home?
Yes.
Would you mind if I came in to speak?
Can you help with the door? It's very heavy.
Oh, good. I'll try. Come on.
All right, just put it to your.
It's always the door.
As you get
It's
the
not
door,
a door, it's a thing of evil.
so you get the door wide that you can step in. You hear a. Leah, thank you for being the door greeter, darling. Now go finish your lunch, okay? Okay, Papa. You watch she runs off. And you see Lord Nurnell walking down. Just walks over and shuts the door. So Master Finnegan, terrible.
Were you coming as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the two of you.
Yeah.
The two of you. So I've received word from. I just want to make sure. Right, nope. I was about to call him. That's the wrong king.
Enough.
Different country.
One for every kingdom.
Exactly. I've been talking with Thela for some time, and he's informed me about what has transpired. I thank you for returning her, and I'm sorry that you had to.
Technically, we didn't have to.
That's fair.
We are going to be leaving within the hour.
Very well.
We have affairs across the sea that need to be dealt with. But we may need to return here quickly for various reasons. I have the ability to adhere to teleportation circles. I was wondering if you knew where I might find one within the city that we could use.
If you swear that you will not let the attunement ritual be known, I will gladly let you attune to the one here within my home.
Oh, you have one within your home?
It was set up by certain friends, and it's the only way you know that. I just brought you from there. It is the only way magically in or out of my home through the current defenses. It is in my study underneath the large rug in the floor. If you'd like to go attune to it, you may do that.
I would greatly appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
It's always rock.
What about you, Rakara? Is there anything I can do for you while you're here?
I was just, he was on his way to the castle, and I was coming here to say the same thing. We just,
It is better you stopped here. His Majesty has entered into a time of sullen repose that I believe is warranted at this moment.
so probably not go check on the kingdom.
He has given current mediation authority to the council. And we will do our best to run Illmeraiya and Lefthalas in his stead. I will do my best to make sure my friend comes out of this unscarred as well.
You may hear of us in our doings in Port Blayven. We have some connections there, and we've shooken things up a little bit since everything has started.
The natural one, shake things up.
Yes.
Perish the thought.
So-
Sir, close that, please. Thank you.
I just hope we can continue this friendship relationship. Should we need to call on you,
Rakara, you and your friends brought my daughter home. You stopped a conspiracy that would have ended with the probably decimation of my people. You and your natural ones are always welcomed on our shores, and you will always find a friend in Athos Nuranab.
I appreciate that.
Looks up. While your friend goes up there attuning to the teleportation circle, I believe my young daughter is currently throwing an ice cream social. If you care to join us.
I can spare a few minutes, of course.
Of course. See who walks in, and you see she's got like several large stuffed animals set up in the actual like dining hall. Half melted bowls of ice cream in front of each of them, and like she's just sitting there talking to each other. The two of you walks in, she gets very prim and proper. Lord, and just like all this kind of stuff, you're presented with bowls of ice cream. About 15, 20 minutes.
I'll be magic illusion, just different, if that's possible.
Yes, that's easily done.
Butterflies
So,
or
anything
whatever.
else you want to do while you're up there, Finnegan?
Once I attune to the circle, I want to leave a note for him
Okay.
that's going to say, please investigate the Borag mining company.
Okay.
Shut down anything that they may be working on. Also, please work diligently against any foothold the coterie may have within the kingdom. And if deemed appropriate, work alongside Kriv, Ambassador Kriv.
Ambassador Carjon. Yeah.
Carjon, yes.
The
Hmm.
we mentioned the Cathedral of Shadows.
The Cathedral of Shadows.
One of their members is in her house. His house.
Right. Okay.
So there's a outline there.
I won't tell him that.
Okay.
I won't leave that in the note. And it'll simply say, we are at war against chaos and oblivion right now. More than just a single kingdom, but the entirety of Faeterra is at risk.
You sign the note, leave it on his desk. For the last bits of the ritual to attune to his teleportation circle. Okay.
The spell says that I get I get the spell knowing two. Would I could assume that the lexicon would possibly have
Yes,
a
they would.
teleportation circle within the building?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll,
You do get the way, and this is just the way the mine work for like favorite reasons. Basically, what you do is you approach it, you activate it, and then on the other side, it's kind of a permission, like Stargate type thing.
right.
You send the dial, you dial the return address, so to speak. On the other side, they recognize the arcane energy,
Okay.
accept it, and then the gateway opens.
Gotcha.
It's that way you really just don't have to, you can't sneak in kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that'll be the two that I know
Gotcha.
with that spell.
Lexicon souffle, le piment souffle, and Lord Nurnell's estate. As you walk down to the sound of laughter coming from the dining hall,
I guess we'll walk out and I'll be
I
rubbing.
don't know that she's a member of the Cathedral of
She
Shadows.
is, 'cause
But I'm saying I don't know.
maybe you don't know.
I think only
Me and Elrond know
Okay.
because
Okay.
Elrond talked to her in front of me.
here's the thing. All you know is she knows thieves' can't.
Mm-hmm.
You never actually outright asked her if she's a member of the cathedral.
I never outright asked her about it. Elrond
The-
talked to her about it in
The,
front of me.
the thing is, the person you would know to be the member, because he was there when all the stuff first went down with Leah, is the male house elf named Feron, Feron, who is Sonali's brother. So that's the connection. Feron is the actual member of the cathedral. Sonali is just his sister, older sister.
But you and I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, that was for their, that's
Not,
their relationship.
I'm assuming that because neither of them shared that with me.
Well, we saw.
I mean, I know
Forget-
thieves can't, but that doesn't mean that I'm a part of.
When we came into the city
One of
with the tea package, remember, and we were being attacked and saw people running along and they were communicating with,
Yeah, but they were also wearing masks.
but they were communicating with the man, or the elf male, which was,
But we don't know that that person was her brother.
anyway. Don't worry.
Like you,
I know,
Rakara
I
and
know.
Finnegan
I know.
don't have
Okay.
this information.
Okay.
So I can't leave this information with them.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
So
So as you step out, I assume, scritching a wren that also looks like she has maybe ingested way too much.
That's why you don't eat that much ice cream.
You hear? After that, where are the two of you heading back?
I guess back to the.
yeah, back to the ship.
So-
We're not going back to the castle.
So while this is happening, the three of you, what are you three doing?
I'm figuring out how to get into this figurehead.
Roll me an athletics check.
Into
Can I make this an acrobatics
Actually,
check?
yeah, either or.
That's in my bag. 23.
Okay. There actually is, it looks like the way it was carved, there are several hand holds and feet holds. You're kind of able to, and you get in. I mean, it's a large wyvern's head, so the mouth, there's about about 6 feet by 3 feet. So yeah, you can kind of
Aren't you claustrophobic?
curl up inside of it.
You
just,
are too. You said you were.
No.
That's why you didn't sleep downstairs, and it's why you always ride on top of the carriages and shit. You said
Yeah,
you're
but
claustrophobic.
this is also whenever we get in open air. This is one of the safest places for me to be because of the teeth.
Oh my
I
And
think-
also, no one's gonna find me.
Roll a bullshit. right now.
What? Which do you want, my performance or persuasion?
And I think what he meant is more is the confined, fully enclosed
Yeah.
spaces.
Mhm.
Okay, so Montel, it's take you several minutes to kind of work your way over into the mouth, but you're able to finally get in, kind of curl up and just lean back, and yeah, it's
Now I take a nap.
it's kind of cozy.
I'm done.
Yeah, it's kind of cozy. Grimm, what are you doing this entire time?
Grimm is being Grimm at this point, and I'm not meaning with 2 M's.
Gotcha.
He's sitting there at the I believe it's the 4, just sitting there looking like he's wanting to go. He's wanting to go really bad, and he also has this look on his face like, I want to kill something right now.
Right
Just
through
give
the
me
edge of
something
rage.
to kill.
Gotcha. Finnegan, what are you doing?
Finnegan will make a quick stop by the lounge,
Okay.
or lodge,
Lodge, yeah.
and the lodge, and
They could have a lounge.
Yeah, he'll make a stop at the lounge to kill Mr. Buddy.
with a candlestick. So, and he will make sure to top off on his supplies before setting out again.
Okay.
Refill his arrows, travel supplies.
As you're there, actually, when you walk in, you go to the quartermaster and you're kind of getting your supplies. Commander Lorenthal actually spots you. Finnegan, you will speak to my office, please. As you finish up and up there. You're and her Drake's kind of moving off, just kind of reminiscing together, just kind of interacting with each other. Okay. As As you walk in, she motions you to sit down. Goes, I know that the orders you were given are to return the Dryad's heart. That's more or less. We need information. We need to know how these people are able to come here and what purpose they have. The recovery of the heart is a high priority. But at any point, if you get information that is paramount to the loss, you are to bring that back to us immediately. Brianel was the one who was pushing more for the recovery of the heart, but I've been in contact with the king, and then she returned later. Daedra and I spoke, and I understand that right now the heart is not as important. It is more of an unknown entity, unknown quandary. The main thing is to find out how this happened and what is their intentions. That is why I recommended you go with the natural ones, as those misfits, as they may be, are the current leading edge of this, essentially a leading battalion in a war. They are at the forefront, they are at the front line of this battle. So you walk back for some reason with what are you doing, Finnegan?
The plot does seem to be swirling around them. So.
If perchance you happen to cross any reason why that is as well, I personally would like to know. That is it, Warden. I wish you the best of luck as she stands, and don't do anything foolish like get yourself killed.
I'll do my best.
May the green go with you. That you are dismissed. You step out to see your two drakes basically terrorizing some poor rookie warden, like on the couch. Stop, no! Like the two, as soon as the two of you step out, they just stop and instantly go to a ready position. Just you hear Lord Thel. Coldrick, you have to be forceful with them. He goes, I was, and they tried to bite me. Oh. Dragon! You see that her just kind of turns back and walks over to him. Best of luck, Faeterra. Rookie, my office. Just looks down and yeah. I heard that. All right. So
I'll say it in Draconic. Come on, then, Hellspawn, and just motion for him to follow me.
Just look around for a moment and go. So as you make your way back to the what?
We were doing so good tonight about not saying it.
No, I said it way earlier, just very, very quietly.
I failed that perception check.
So did I.
Somebody has to be here for
Is there a way to? Do I have ejector seats installed on these things yet? No, I do not.
That won't be until next week.
That's next week's session. Hit a button. Okay.
And then I stick the landing. So anyway.
In Russia, landing sticks you. Okay. You return to the Wyvern's Rest. Captain Eleanor Skydrop, the other members of the crew, Sam Dean, as you were all led down into the hold. You're still the damn mouth.
Yeah.
You hear the loud sound of a bell ringing, the ship about to be underway. Would anyone like to inform Finreal about what's about to happen?
Grimm has no idea he's there.
That's fair.
I'm going downstairs.
Hold on a second.
I would like to point out, I warned earlier, you need to tie yourself to something.
You did.
By the way, Montel is tying himself to the sea.
Okay. I need everyone to make either athletics rolls or acrobatics rolls.
Advantage if we've tied ourselves down?
With advantage if you tied yourself down.
Nat 20. On that. 7.
Advantage?
Oh, no. I never said I tied myself down.
Oh, okay.
I had advantage.
I was going with
26.
19.
19.
That's why I'm going downstairs.
The 7 need one. The 7 need one.
Sure. Maybe athletics, acrobatics for Seb, yeah.
Let's see.
I'm in this
Grimm didn't even tie himself down. He was just so pissed off now that not even gravity can face him.
He's literally upside down.
So pissed off he's in
Grimm's
zero
like
G
literally
now.
leans over in the front, like gripping into the rails. You actually hear the wood cracking underneath. So what did you roll?
That's a 26 total.
26 total. So as the ship lifts out, slowly backs up, you feel it start to slowly begin to climb. Just as it clears, maybe a little bit sooner than the Dragon's Reach did, and still in the upward climb, you hear a call come up through the entire sky ship. You hear,
Captain's got the stick!
you hear Finnegan go falling down the stairs. Grimm, the rest of you managing to have Tyson all grab hold.
This is also a small enough space for him just like
Like Montella, she dips up, you feel yourself starting to slide, you just reach out and grab onto the teeth.
Also, he knows where I'm at because you left the ship.
Grimm has no
Oh,
idea
good.
where you're at.
My tail's just
Grimm
gone.
was just pissed and he wanted to be alone because if anybody touched him, he was going to punch him.
Nobody knows where Montella is. Though.
So,
You'll pop up.
No one is concerned.
let me make the roll for Elrond.
Oh, is
as
Montel
he's
dead?
now.
Finally. Montel dead.
Cockroaches have wings.
The high roll for Elrond was a 6.
Oh no.
Oh.
So down in the hole where he was going to commune with, he was doing something. You suddenly hear a loud fuck.
Elrond, get off of me!
Okay. The normally 3.5, 4 week journey, again being made in it's about a 6 week journey now being made a little over 3 weeks, as the Weirstone's fully charged. There's no more containers in the hold. The ship, at its lightest weight, is moving extremely fast, to the point where no one is allowed on deck. The captain, whoever's taking around on the wheel, has to tie himself to keep from falling off. It is moving. Not going to make you make any rolls, as you will return to Port Blayven.
While we're
Yeah.
flying on this ship, I will have been reading the Critic Grimoire,
Okay.
because I took that book from the...
You took the entire book.
Yes. And then I took the page that was torn out.
That's right, you did. Yeah, I remember. I made the roll. They didn't see you. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I forgot about that.
A thief.
Imagine you set a little curtain in your bunk, just sitting there
Yeah, I'm gonna ham it.
you have mending or anything, or
No, but I took the book and then I had the page that she tore out because she
Yeah.
had it on her when she was unconscious.
yeah. So you just have to kind of put that's fine.
Yeah. So I don't have mending.
Okay.
Just to ask Montel the next time you see him, can you fix this real quick?
A lot of the book is charts and runic symbols and different spell circles and kinds of things. There are a few parts where it's like an actual journal where he's like writing things out, like the notes about the void stone. Roll me an investigation check. What are you looking for exactly? I mean, that's
Nothing in particular. I guess I'm more or less trying to get into the mind of
okay.
the author to begin with.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a dirty 20.
Okay.
I'm going to use 1 point of inspiration.
All right.
Now that is going to be a dirty 31.
Okay.
So dirty.
It's a natural 19.
Krivik was fascinated with the transference of energy, specifically the transference of life. He believed that the way to perfect necromancy was not to call back a soul from beyond the grave or force it to come back, but to take the essence of life that already existed and through various means, be it magical, alchemical, or scientific, convert it from one vessel into another. The various graphs and summoning circles and all this you see were his notes and notations on how to call things from different planes, and then using that energy, experimenting with it to see if it could be transferred into other variations. There was an entire section that basically where you get a sense he was trying to make his own dragons. Like he would take certain drakes and pull elementals from the different elemental planes and try to force those energies to combine together. Literally trying to force two essences, two souls of this within a similar body and merge into one. To varying degrees, all of which were failures. There was even one notation about how it blew out when he brought in the fire elemental and a Kenyan drake, which is kind of a hardier creature, that the resulting explosion decimated the top half of his tower.
Okay.
He does mention correspondence with the Archmage Clothis, excuse me.
Okay.
And how that his study in the primordial energies of the world, and that how his you beat the 20, you beat a 20, you said dirty 31, right?
Yes.
And how his study to obtain godhood could merge in the same field of moving energy from one form to another. Okay. So that's what he's doing the journey. What is everybody else doing on the journey?
I'm writing a song. I'm writing a battle song.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What performance?
This is where it
27.
Good song. Okay.
I think he's not here right now, but Rakara would get with Elrond and Montel, and we'll start going over allies that we have, and once they contact and start making a strategy on who to use to get at the coterie.
Elrond will tell you, or Sandrin will tell you, that he does have points of contacts within the cathedral that he could reach out for. He's already sent certain letters out to them.
That we have Alexander and
And Ironhaven,
In
that's one he
Ironhaven.
also mentioned that he met through his sister. The other, let's see here, that you have connections with Lamtra.
I'm sure I'm the book.
Question.
Yes,
for-
Montel.
Do you try to find Montel now?
I assume at some point you're you know, unless you're just going to
Okay,
literally live in
so-
the mouth for 3 weeks.
Well, considering how fast we're going,
He said the deck would be clear. So
Yes.
that would mean
but would anyone know to look in the mouth of this thing for me?
at some point.
At this point, from what I've seen of you, someone would have thought of it.
And you gotta find food at some point.
I keep rations on me.
3 weeks worth.
It's like, no, what it is, like midway, like at one point, like midway through a week, somebody's there flying off, so they just see like a bucket get tossed out, liquid's like, hang on a second, he stops, looks in, just sees Montel sitting there, like, hello. I found him!
Did you mention doors into the hall? Anyway.
Right into where the group's room is. You just see Montel pop out of the wall.
Hey, fix this book for me.
Okay.
You have it, just say.
Oh yeah, no.
It's
But it's also going to take a minute.
Are you looking at the book?
Oh yeah.
You know what this is. Like this
What
is.
language is it in?
It's a lot of it is like you're having to kind of sit and actually like decrypt it as you go. Like it had his own kind of coded language he wrote it in. So you know
Okay.
paranoia type stuff. But you're able to on that investigation. You're able to kind of realize, hey, yeah.
So we need to, I'll say this out loud, so we need business in Port Blayven, but we need to head to this Milheim that's above Ironhaven. Correct?
I can at the very least call in a favor for information about Ironhaven. At least figure out about Travis and them. Tavish.
I can get us to Ironhaven quickly.
I wouldn't mind stopping through Lamshire for a minute.
Good.
But that's me.
What do you do this entire time?
For the first while, cursing them for the lack of description for the warning for what I'm in for.
No. You're cursing me specifically because I'm the only one who gave you a warning.
They did not give me a warning and therefore also earned cursing. After that, avoiding the murderous one, because he's rather large.
It takes a
I
few
don't
days, but
have.
he does ease off of that, but he becomes really mopey.
He's probably helping to continue training with Dev.
Yeah.
Make sure he's ready for combat.
Gotcha.
And staying out of the way.
So over the journey, Elrond Sandrin would have told you about the vision he saw, where he spoke with what he assumed to be some essence or avatar of Ebrin. The location where he saw, the area he saw the elf, the elven male that he knows to be Arthor's Zytherin, the large chunk of the Platinum Star. Do you have any questions you want me to apply to El? Because he gave me some stuff to say, so I've got some information that I can give out.
What does he need?
Like, are you want anything you want to ask him about what he saw? Is it just kind of telling you?
In his vision, did he see anything of the sea? Are we looking at this being up in the mountains from his vision, or was his vision at the sea?
What he saw, he did not see any, or he did not perceive any sort of ocean, of any water. What he saw were massive stone structures reaching up, out of his sight. He does get a sense that it was somewhere underground.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm thinking.
Ebron knew you, or talking to Elrond, as the prodigal son. What's
That
What does that mean, Elrond?
If that is your real name. If that is your real name.
I got to invoke my inner Derek here. My
Scary.
hair is not big enough.
Here, I got it for you.
All right. He looks at you and goes, well, what that means to me is because Zytherin has some control over the coterie, therefore Ebron will have some intelligence in it as well. My name is known, and I'm very sure in the way that what happened to me happened, there were some who didn't believe the current story that was given, or there could be something that he knows that Zytherin does not. The fact that he did refer to me as the prodigal son means that there is some element that knows I am alive.
This just proves to me that the coterie is still nothing more than messenger boys. They don't know as much as they think.
The coterie may not, but that means somebody who is giving them this information is purposefully curtailing it. Ebron, this arcanist, whoever the fuck they are. I'm of your opinion. You guys have told me about Kieran. You've spoken about him. He is someone I would have loved to have met. And the fact that his final rest has been disturbed, that is an affront to Mormon-Car that I cannot let stand. So even though I may not have met him, may not have bled with him, I may not have been there when he fell, I will stand beside all of you in bringing whatever bastards did this to the justice of Blade.
Here, here.
Again, never has Elrond been so, what's the word, eloquent.
You won't tell him that.
I think he's still watching, actually.
Well, the Queen's brother is leading the coterie.
Correct.
I don't know if the rest of them know that. I'm relaying that to them.
I think she told me that.
There is a reason for this. Centuries ago, if not millennia, the coterie existed as a gang underneath Nosoria within the Underdark. It was a gang of dark elves, of drow. Over time, they amassed power and began to move outward and upward. They made contact within several cities in Wildweir. They moved through the city of Mathal, the capital city in the Sunderlands, up into Wildweir and then to other places of Fellmount. The person who led them out became what they refer to as the first Grand Master. He had believed he had a vision from some deity and led them to power and wealth beyond their wildest dreams. Supposedly, he received a blessing of this god or goddess that was carried in his lineage. And they, since his death, have been looking for his descendants. It is possible that that's how the Arcanist constructed all this. The fact that he gave some evidence that these Zytherans are the descendants of the Grand Master. There's supposed to be a power within their blood that is able to unlock something to prove that they are in fact his descendants. Now, whether or not they've actually done this, if it was a trick, or if somehow they've been able to put off this test, there's nowhere to tell until we get there.
This blood unlocking sounds a lot like what we just left behind in Elfalas, to be honest. I don't know if that's a coincidence or.
In the Dark Elf societies, especially in the more darker times, blood magic was a very common practice. It was believed that the power of essence, of power of life in all things, could be used to drive the most powerful enchantments. And if you were willing to spill blood for the cost, there is no telling what you would call out of the void, out of the darkness, to answer your bidding.
Huh.
The coterie believed themselves blessed by one of these ancient gods. Personally, I think they've just gotten lucky over the past centuries. And now that luck is catching up with them.
Do you know which one of these gods? Or
It's not one of the main pantheon, I know that much. It's probably some ancient usurper god. Which, if that is the case, that makes them all the more dangerous.
desperate.
Anything else?
Can I roll a history check to see if Montel would have heard any stories about where the Dark Elves came up from? Maybe only due to the fact that Elrond has said that this seemed to be come from underground, and while we have a dwarven ruin that we are going to, which is underground, this could be them, or they are back into the old Underdark.
It's got a very stout DC to it, but I'll let you roll a history check, yeah.
Okay. 26.
And 6. Okay. So one more time, what were you trying to...
So Montel is trying to think of any stories he's heard of where the Dark Elves came up from underground.
Okay, gotcha.
Trying to think maybe they went back underground in the same place.
You, on that roll, can confirm that in fact they're nearly thousands of years ago, not long into what is known as the Age of Heroes. In the timeline of the world, you have the primordial age where the Titans, the creation happened. At the Cataclysm, you have what is known as the Age of Arcanum. That's where the Great War of the Gods and magic was introduced and all this stuff. Then after that, you have the Age of Heroes. This is where the grand heroes of the world, all different ones, rose to power, set up the grand empires. After that was known as the Age of Darkness. This is where this is the time of Krivik, of Clothis. This is a time of darkness and of great evil. After that is what was known as the Refounding. This is where several other heroes rose up, cast down these dark empires and dark entities. And now you are living in what is known as the Era of Peace. The Era of Peace, the Era of just basically
Era of stability.
Era of stability, an Era of Peace, roughly 3,000 years after the age of, after the Cataclysm. So roughly 3,000 years. The Age of Heroes was about 2,500 years ago. That is kind of where the Dark Elves began to appear, and within 400 to 500 years, the Age of Darkness had happened. Several historians say that whatever the Dark Elves were fleeing or what drove them up led to this Age of Darkness. You do know that there is mentioned in several ancient texts what is known as a Temple of Ascension. Somewhere in the Sunderlands of Wildweir, far to the south, before the lava falls that connect Wildweir to Nasoria. It is known as the Temple of Ascension. Supposedly, it is where the Dark Elves came up out of the Underdark and crossed over into Wildweir.
And where did you say, like, in which, country, like, borderline?
So so you have Stornacor's up top.
Mm-hmm.
Wildweir is the one y'all been, the land of the five realms,
Mhm.
Starbrae and all that. Beneath that is Nesoria, Nesoria. This is a barren, rocky, cragged wasteland, active lava flows, to the point where it is almost inhospitable up top, and far beneath it is the Underdark.
Okay.
This is the natural home of the Drow, the Dark Elves, and several other things that exist down there.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that where Morad is?
Marat is over in, Marat is a different continent. And it is from this Underdark that there's it's called the Temple of Ascension, is the place where they broke out onto the surface, built a grand temple, and it's supposedly that this is a place in Wildweir, a route, because currently the only route to cross over is called the Crag Falls, which is a singular, about half a mile wide, 3 mile long natural bridge over the lava falls. But supposedly the Drow who broke through at the Temple of Ascension had a pathway that circumvented that, and let them come up into the, in Wilder without having to go across that pass.
And this is the exact opposite direction of where
Correct.
okay. I just figured that would be an idea for if we know they've gone back underground in some form or another.
Ironhaven
keep
and
going.
kind of the general area Nilheim is believed to be
Mhm.
is up in what is called Northweald
Mhm.
or Northweald. I'm sorry, Lava Fall Pass is the name of it. The Sunderlands were the pass, and Mathal, the city that is mentioned, that is the far south. That sits along that southern edge
Okay.
of Nesoria.
Okay. So the coteries gone back where they came from, underground.
Possibly.
Any other questions for Elrond?
I have no questions.
The Zytheran name, it originated, can't remember where.
Zytheran is a Moratian name.
Narration, okay.
You remember that, actually, no, you were not there. Finnegan, you remember her saying that she doesn't remember her parents. They cast them out when they were still young.
Mhm.
So you don't know, like, she has no idea where what is the historical connection to the Zytheran name. But you do know that at some point, like, her and her brother are from Nirakesh in Marat.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, anything else before we arrive at Port Blayven?
Grimm might want to talk to Elrond.
Okay. Elrond is spending most of his time down in the hold, excuse me. Meditating, just relaxing, trying to converse with Mormon Carr. As you kind of step down, as he opens one eye. Grimm, what can I do for you?
I don't know if there's anything you can do, but
We'll find him, big guy.
I was supposed to be strong enough to help make the world a bit brighter. That's what I promised my dad since I left home. I lost 2 friends. One of them I consider a brother, and now his body is gone. I couldn't protect him in life, and now I can't protect him in death. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I need something else.
do you think you need?
Clearly, my physical body's not enough.
Grimm, I've seen you perform feats of strength that would make Titans cower.
But it's not enough.
What do you know about me, Grimm?
You're a priest.
Do you know how I got where I am?
Faith? Isn't that it?
I was raised in the coterie. My family was part of the coterie. On the mission that was to be our initiation mission. We were simply supposed to poison some no-name magistrate in a city far to the south. Simple, get in, bit of fishing line down to his bowl of soup, bit of poison, no one, no visor. But something happened. The last thing I remember was falling over 80 feet from the ceiling down onto a metal statue. And then there was darkness. I awoke in a pile of bodies in a gully. Do you know who was leading that mission? My sister. I don't think she knows I'm alive. But I know I have to let her know. I've sent letters out over and over letting her know that I am alive and I bear her no ill will. Grimm, Kieran doesn't expect you, didn't expect you to be a god. He didn't expect you to stand in the way of everything. He expected you to stand beside him, and from what I'm told, you did that in droves. The thing they took out of the ground, yes, is Kieran's body, but it's not Kieran. The memories of Kieran, the emotions, the laughter, the fighting, the happiness, that's Kieran. Do you feel like that you have done enough for that memory? Do you feel like that when you look back across it, that any of those moments, do you feel like that if you could ask him that he would have wanted you to do more?
Maybe not.
I can understand you being mad about his body being taken. Hell, I'm mad about it for more reasons than people think. And we will deal with the assholes who did it. But I don't want to go into a situation where I have to be concerned about you rushing in, trying to take on some damn dragon by yourself. Kieran wouldn't want that. From what I understand, he fell in the heat of battle after doing his best to make sure that his friends had a fighting chance. Grimm, he's still giving you that chance. Take it, use it, but be smart about it. And if you need to punch something, you see him glance over to a box. They missed one.
He gets up. Walks over to the box. I'm going to rage! And then proceeds to break it into a ton of pieces. Walks away with splinters in his hands.
As you go to walk away, Elrond steps up, walks over to you, and you see him go to hold up his hands as though to heal you. Do you let him?
He'll let him.
He heals. He goes, simple cast cure wounds, heals the 3 points of damage if that you can dealt to yourself. He goes, much like that box, unbridled fury also hurts the one who uses it.
Oh, boy, you sound like my dad.
Well, your father was a smart man. Remember, power and rage are not true strength. True strength is knowing when to use it. And trust me, my friend, there will come a moment when I will look at you and I will let you rage until the light itself cowers before you. Just promise me you'll keep your ass alive until that happens.
Another thing. This happened a long time ago, but I had a vision. Well, not that long ago, I actually had a couple. And I was sober. So, just making this clear, I was sober.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. Inside. There was a robed man. What came across me when I was standing last watch over killing.
Walking stick,
Yes.
salt and pepper gray hair, beard,
Yeah.
crow on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He always collects the important ones himself.
He said that kid took the right path.
A path of his choosing.
I want to take that too.
Grimm, I do not know what the right path is for you. But together, I think we can find it.
I think that path is north.
Then north we shall go.
Because that's the other vision. A long time ago. Not too long after I ran across these fellas. Well, Rakara and Jaren and keep hearing about who the fuck is Reed.
I hear this Oriana chick. I don't know who she is.
I don't know who she is either. Drive away. I had this vision. Thought my player's looking over his notes. There were these fields. And I looked down and I saw a dead rat. It was just dead. No marks, no cuts, nothing. It was just dead. Then the ground began to turn black. Bad. I was just afraid. I don't usually feel that. It's kind of a weird thing. Then there was this red glow coming from the north. And it started getting brighter and brighter, and then everything starts to crumble away. Voice started talking to me, but didn't understand what it said.
Do you remember what it sounded like?
I don't know. I hardly remember.
All right, Elrond. Unfortunately, you didn't give me your character sheet. I think I remember what most of your stats are.
You need to text it to him now.
Text it to him.
Base 17 for a wisdom and a cleric is pretty good either
Ooh,
way.
oof, yeah.
So the rat had no marks, and you were standing in an open field?
Yeah.
Was
As far as I
there,
can remember.
was the field, was it prepared for the harvest?
It was, I believe.
And the corruption, did it, as that red light grew, did that corruption get bigger?
Yeah. It got worse and worse. Everything was being destroyed right there in front of me.
Sound It sounds like that, in fact, yes, that whatever that corruption, that death was leaching out of this rat. There is a usurper god. Skrevix. He was called the god in shadows. He was a god of secrets, of lies, of falsehood, and he would present himself as a large rat. It could be that someone was showing you the future, that from this, the remnants of this god of Skrevix, that it seems like you're on the right path, though. Yes, Grimm, that your dream was showing that whatever is causing and will cause the world to crumble into the void is to the north.
I've kept that to myself for so long.
Well, thank you
It's
for
stayed in
sharing
the
that.
back of my head.
Thank you for sharing that with me, my friend. I'm glad you trust me as much.
Thank you for what you said. I'm gonna go cheer myself up now.
You go to leave, you hear you smell whiskey.
There it is.
You turn to see Elrond. You don't think Lord Norrell would miss a bottle or two, do you? As he pulls out some wooden goblets and pours
Not a one.
to you. To the gods, and they make up their damn minds. He takes the two of you being a little drunk. Anything else on your trip?
I'm gonna cast Fireball.
Yes, Fireball.
There's your action for this session. He cast a fireball.
I think Martel is actually going to spend a few days praying.
To whom?
To all of them.
No, Martel is actually going to specifically pray to Darmon and Quark.
So Darmond, god of travel, wealth, and joy,
Mm-hmm.
and Korok, god of the forge and artisans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What would you? What are you talking about? What are you?
With Korok, it's more of a he's asking just for himself as someone who believes more in his music than he does in actually his like. Even if everything else failed, he would go to music still.
Okay.
He's seeing if Korok is enjoying what he is providing as in a musical sense.
Roll me either insight or religion, your choice.
I think religion's higher. Oh, they're the same, so. 12.
Nothing really comes. You're only going to answer one way or the other.
Yeah. And then with Darmon, he's just asking for protection. They have a long way to go in several different places, and while he's not trying to get rich, he's trying to get everywhere he needs to go safely.
Okay. Over the next few days, a stiff wind actually blowing from Ilfthalas, kind of against the normal flow of the weather for this time of year, will actually push your ship further and faster. So you go from 3 weeks to just a little over 2, cutting off a few days of travel.
But yeah, I think that first week was him making that song, and then that last half was him
Gotcha.
questioning himself.
So Finnegan, as your fireball envelops the ship.
This extra air providing oxygen.
All right. So, anything else before we make landfall at Port Blayven? Okay.
Grimm's happier now. Grimm's happier now. He's back to his normal self.
All right. As the Wyvern's Rest pulls into the only place for airships to land at the garrison tower, the gangplank leading down, you see Baylor Hemlock standing there, and at his side, looking very sharp in leather and metal armor, is a familiar canine figure, bearing the mark of Port Blayven watch. It appears that Donnybrook has been conscripted into the guard.
Donnie!
As all of you step off, Donnie leaping forward to the four of you. Not really paying much attention to the half elf and the green drake, no, black drake, slowly making their way down the gangplank. Hemlock stepping forward goes, "Gentlemen, I am glad you have returned. I wish it was under better circumstances, though."
We meant to return anyway, but this has put wings on our heels.
He looks down and just kind of rubs Donnybrook's head. "I am sorry to say that what happened on my watch. From what we can tell, it happened during the middle of the night. I tried to keep a patrol in that area, but they either missed it or it happened while the patrol was switching out. Well, I know that you must have a lot of questions and a lot of things to do. But first, I would like to bring a bit of a silver lining. Your estate is ready. If you'd like to see it first."
Lead the way. Would you like to join?
Forgive me, sir, I don't, Baylor Hemlock, this large human male wearing plate armor, the mark of Port Blayven guard on the shoulder.
This was one of our first allies, and he's been
Very good man.
very good man.
Pleasure, though it could have been under better circumstances.
So you remember the Green Wardens, you know Commander Lorenzo. That was the one, the female commander
The one
at
who sent
Illmeraiya,
to-
yes.
I have met her, yes.
I owe her my life. That's a story for another time, though. Are you with these vagabonds?
It would appear so.
We saved your city how many times now?
Yet it always needs saving.
Yeah. That's not our fault.
Well, right now, as looks around, this point in the early morning when you arrive, like 8, 9 o'clock, it was, well, thankfully, now the city belongs to Day Commander Gravik. So, if you will follow me, I have a carriage waiting to take you to what was formerly known as the Rimbor Estate.
Ooh.
Why Tel pulls out his final
You pretty
packet
much
of
already know the
instant
layout.
coffee before it's getting to his mouth.
No, because we
That's
never
the
went
last
to
of the
that.
good coffee.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what's there to be found.
Okay.
I'm sure they've, I'm sure they've
Pretty sure they got all
cleaned
the.
stuff up.
I'm pretty sure they got rid of all the good stuff.
As he's driving the carriage with the cart, we have had several people removing what few items there were for Rimbor. It was clear that there had been actually no. The house was in a little bit of disarray. Dust was everywhere. It was clear that no living person had been there for some time. The grounds are in an absolute horrible state. and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But the house is sound. The walls are strong. The roof is sturdy, and the wall surrounding it is still standing. On behalf of the city of Port Blayven, I am gifting this to you for services rendered, and with the hope that should you need to be called upon again, we don't have to look so far to find you. He takes you through the streets to a part of the city where you're still within the large city wall, but this is a part of the district where the residences live. This one bordering the center district where this council hall and everything are. There are several large estates here. You're led to one that is off the side, kind of against the outer wall. It sits on 5 acres of land. There is a small 8-foot stone wall surrounding it. A metal gate that's a bit rusted and tarnished, needs a good cleaning. As he approaches one of the carriage approaches, he steps down and opens the gate. The cart leading into it. The garden, as it were, wild weeds, bushes overgrown. You see what looks to be a large fountain with old mucky water in it, reeds pushing out of it. The house, while sound, you see several shutters appear to be falling off. The cobblestone courtyard leading up and around to it needs a little bit of work, a bit of weeding. It is a 2-story manor-style home. He says you have the main house, there are 2 wings off the side. And on either side on the wings, there is a tower-like addition that goes up an additional story. So additional 2 stories adding to it. There are many, many rooms. There are several sitting rooms and studies. There is he points to an area of a stable where you can see, stalls that long since needed to be mucked. But all in all, a lot of work needs to be done in this place. But it is yours.
No.
I like it.
Would you like to see the insides?
Of course.
Please.
All right. As he steps down, taking several keys, as he goes and unlocks it, the door opening, of dust coming out of it. He goes, whatever you find in the larder, I wouldn't eat it. Whatever you find in the wine basement, you may want to drink it. You might have a good night.
Don't eat anything.
Point your finger right at that, like, do not.
As he hands keys to each of you, leading you in. A very very dark, there's no light. It's very much, if you played Skyrim, the style of the homes in, I think it's not Winterhold, the place where the High King lives.
Solitude? Solitude?
Not Solitude, the other king.
Oh, Winterhold?
Winterhold. That is Winterhold, yeah. But yeah, those style of houses where a lot of it is stone and wood, a single staircase leading up to the next landing. You see as you walk off the side, a large kind of sitting room. There's a small study, kitchen, dining room, and there is a plethora of bedrooms, at least 8 or 9. You can easily have your own bedroom kind of stuff.
Jesus, do we sleep in one bed a night, or do we stay in our room?
As we're walking around, because as you said, it's no light. I'm gonna activate my ring so that at least we have light to walk around.
As he's walking, he tells you it's taken. We've had several mages come in and strip whatever the hell was going on in the basement of this place. Magically has been completely cleansed. There were strange circles, and we don't know what Rimbor was doing.
What?
Our wizard wanted to look at that.
We can have We have one of the mages come over and speak about what they found, perhaps. He gives a very quick walk through the house. You see as he steps out, and he kind of looks up at the sun and goes, Haggerty wanted to speak with you as soon as you had a moment to settle in.
I'll tell you what, so then we gotta clean up.
That's why if you want to leave your bags and stuff, your
Right.
most of
We have gold we can hire people for.
most
Yeah, I forget I have gold.
most of your belongings are still over at the Grey Oak Tavern. So I believe if you are finished here, that will be our next stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And that will be where we stop for this evening, as it is almost 10 o'clock. We will pick up next time
One more hour, God.
with you returning to the Grey Oak Tavern.
Make it.
We had one session, yes. Can we have a second session?
Yes, to those of you watching on TikTok, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate you as always. Tonight, not a lot of action, more of just a good role play and story session.
And I had a new mini.
Next week, Elrond, Derek will be back with us.
Yay.
And I hope that I have did his character a little bit of justice I did tonight. So as we close for the evening, the natural ones, anything you wish to say to our friends through the power of the internet?
Stay tuned next week. Same Nat 1 time, same Nat 1 channel.
I told you I had a +8 to history.
With that, good night, D&D TikTok.
Bye.